interesting.
Ron, it is louder down here than you can imagine, which is why you need to know how much the dome itself could play a role in the outcome of this game. None of the 22 men on the field right now have ever played on AstroTurf, much less in a dome, much less in a bowl game. Even though Georgia Tech is only 3 miles up the road from here, they acquiesce to every opportunity to practice inside the dome, whereas LSU cranked up the heat inside their indoor practice facility is 74, 75 degrees. Ron, if you can hear me, that's how warm it's going to get come the fourth quarter. More on that later.
Okay. Godsey to throw on first down. Gets it out of the flat and has it complete out at the 28-yard line as he got knocked down. But it was Kelly Campbell. And let's take a look at the starting lineups. Junior quarterback, George Godsey. Industrial and Systems Engineering, his major. He'll have with him Burns and Wilder, Kelly Campbell, who just caught the ball along with John Myers, and Matt Vey is the tight end. We'll check the offensive line following this play. I formation this time. Play action. They're going to throw on second down as well. Steps up, got a man open, and he overthrew him. Looking for Myers right down the middle. Let's have a look at that starting group with the offensive line for Georgia Tech. It all starts with the big left side. Chris Brown, 6'6", 315 out of Augusta. Schmidt-Gall is the center. He and Bennett over on the right side. The defensive front.
Ron, a pretty good front. Jarvis Green has 16 career sacks, so the tackles have to do a good job on he and Allen.
Have to wonder how long Allen can go today. He has a bad calf, and he really was limping in the pregame warm-ups. In fact, Mitchell has just come in the ballgame. Middle screen. Throws it complete to Jonathan Smith. Almost to the 35-yard line. They'll say his knee went down at the 33.5. At Georgia Tech doing just what they've done in earlier ball games. As we look at the linebackers, very good and active. Lawrence, Falk, and also Brady James. And in the secondary, Booker and Robert Davis, Lionel Thomas, and Ryan Clark are the safeties. Burns and Wilder this time, as you take a look at Booker, turned an ankle 3 days ago. They didn't know if he was even going to be able to play. They take it to the right side. Breaks the tackle out of the 40, out to the 41, now the 42. That's Joe Burns on the carry, and it's Trevor Falk, the middle linebacker, making the stop.
Ron, Adrian mentioned about the dome and the heat in here. The other problem for LSU and Georgia Tech, they haven't played on artificial turf. And if you walk across that turf, if you don't pick your feet up, you'll stumble and you'll fall. And that's the big change for both these teams. You're going to see a lot of guys fall because they're not used to not picking up their feet on this turf.
Clark just had to come out of the ballgame to free safety. It looked as though he knocked his shoulder down. We'll get a report on him. Second down and short for Georgia Tech. They want to throw the ball again. Far sideline. Got single coverage, but overthrown, and immediately they went after Booker. You have to wonder if Georgia Tech knows something about the injury.
Well, Booker is the senior starter in the defensive backfield. He gives leadership to this very young defense. He's the only senior starter on this outfit. And, Ron, this is an important drive for LSU because, as you mentioned in the open, they've only given up 1 touchdown the first quarter. So Georgia Tech knows that. They're trying to put a dent in their sight.
Georgia Tech,
first drive.
They've come out steamrolling people. Only 14 points in the opening quarter given up by LSU the entire year. Third down. They need to take it to the 44. Pressure. The pass is dropped. I mean, he was alone in between 5 different defenders, and Kerry Watkins tried to run with it before he caught it.
Yeah, Kerry Watkins, usually a pretty good receiver, couldn't come back to the football.
Lavallee is the man who was putting the pressure on Godsey, and he knocked him down pretty hard.
Ron, here's the other important thing when you play on turf for the first time. You got to catch punch. You can't let them bounce on this turf because you can pick up an extra 15 yards against you if you don't field the punt.
Dyke waiting for the snap back at the 27-yard line. End over end, and it's going to be caught on the fly at the 20. This is Dominic Davis. Good coverage by Georgia Tech. He will have only 3 yards on the return as we take a look at the starters for the LSU Tigers. Josh Booty, the man at quarterback, had a good run of 4 straight games. Junior out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Kinesiology, his major. The backs, Tofield and Banks. Myers and Robinson, the wide receivers, and an outstanding tight end, Robert Royal. And they have a lot in their offensive package for their tight ends. So look for Royal, also DiMaggio and Eric Edwards to catch the ball several times today. Tofield in motion. Gives it to Banks, the big fullback. Couple of yards, that's about it. The offensive line for LSU. Reed, Sale, Lewis Williams. He's the anchor there in the middle. Dwayne Price has improved considerably. And over on the right side, Brandon Winey, normally the starter. Brad Smalling has to start because Winey has a broken bone in his hand.
And Ron, Greg Gathers, a very good defensive lineman from Louisiana.
Booty squares the shoulders, throws the pass, breaks a tackle, breaks another. Robinson, and he's loose. 40, 45, out to the 49-yard line. It's good for 21. Ather Brown finally stopped him.
It's imperative for LSU to get off to a good start. Josh Booty, we talked about him in the open. He's thrown 10 interceptions in the 4 losses. If he gets his confidence going, he is a very good quarterback, an all-SEC first-team quarterback.
LSU is very quick at their specialty position. You have to lock up, and you can't miss tackles like Clark did there.
And that's what Georgia Tech worried about in this football game, missed tackles.
Schofield, they ran right at where the blitz was coming from. It'll go for a couple of yards. Darrell Smith on the tackle. And Mike explained this. Georgia Tech stays at home for the most part. They don't blitz that much, do they?
No, they really don't. They make you work the field. They figure you're going to make mistakes, and they don't want to get in a position where they give you the big play. Ted Ruff, the defensive coordinator. And they've been improving defense every game, getting better and better.
Second down. They need to take it to around the 40-yard line of Georgia Tech. From the shotgun, Booty right over the middle, and that ball is dropped. Myers had it hit him right in the hand. Now let's go back to the Beck's starting lineups as we take a look at the linebackers for Georgia Tech. Wimbush, Smith, and Ather Brown. And in the secondary, Clark at one of the corners, Chris Young at the other. They are very good. And Myers at safety, probably the quarterback back there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and Ron, everybody tries Jamar Clark. They want to go after him because he's small, 5'8".
Third down. They roll the pocket to the right. Good block by the fullback. Throws this one in, just throws it away. Nice job defensively by Georgia Tech.
Yeah, both teams just feeling each other out here in this first drives for both teams.
First punt of the afternoon for the LSU Tigers. Donnie Jones, a freshman out of Baton Rouge Catholic. You see his numbers. He waits for the snap at the 37. Kelly Rhino is the single deep back for Georgia Tech. Here's the left footer's boot. Spiral is going to turn over. He runs away from it. Hits it for 3. It'll bound into the end zone. And it'll come back to the 20-yard line. 48 yards to the punt. Let's take a timeout. As Mike said, both teams feeding each other out. No score. 11:07 opening.
Get a free Cows and Sports calendar containing $30 worth of food. Visit ChickFilAPeachBowl.com by midnight tonight.
You wouldn't believe the sales.
I hope you didn't put all those in the credit card.
Yeah, why?
Those interest charges are really going to get us.
Don't worry. I used our new Capital One card. It's interest-free.
To the neighbors! If you had a new Capital One card, all your purchases would be interest-free until July 2001.
We gotta tell Bob and Carol about Capital One.
What's in your wallet?
It's always special when you bring your first one home. Chrysler Voyager. Re-engineered and redesigned with dual sliding doors and over 45 standard safety and security features. It's the most affordable minivan you can buy. Now get $750 cash allowance on a Consumer's Digest at Best Buy.
No score, second possession of the afternoon by Georgia Tech. The numbers on Godsey in his opening series, as you look at Booty on the sideline on the phone upstairs. Godsey 2 of 5, 13 yards, 2 overthrows, and had 1 drop. Burns, the lone setback, 2 tight ends, Heller and Macbeth. Short drop, wants to throw. Nice job by Booker. Almost intercepted it, and now a flag. Mike, I don't think it's interference. They may call him for holding, but he had inside position.
Yeah, he is taught not to let the receiver inside of him.
That's the reason Godsey had to wait as long as he did. And they're going to call pass interference. I don't know. That is very, very close.
I'm sure Nick Saban doesn't like this call because he's playing bump coverage inside of Kelly Campbell, and you want to take the inside away. Playing head up, gets his hands on him, and it is a good call, Ron. He got his hands outside of Kelly Campbell, and good call by the officials.
You can see how tough it is if you're a wide receiver to get off a good quarterback like Booker does. 1st and 10. Inside with the handoff, ball is loose. LSU, I believe. Tigers football. Lavallee.
Just talked about George Godsey. He doesn't make mistakes, but he made one here. He's reading this option all the way. But sometimes your fullback will clamp that ball, and it looks like that one. That's what happened right there. The fullback took the ball. He let it go too far, Ron. You're only supposed to take it to your belly button and then pull it out. He let it go too far. A mistake by George Godsey.
You can see the number of turnovers lost in the season. Royal and DiMaggio, the 2 tight ends lined up on either side. They go with the running play. At Tofield, here comes a deep flag from down the field. This may be face masking, as Gathers will make the tackle, or Gathers, I should say.
And Greg Gathers got something to prove to the LSU football team. When he was a junior, he from Louisiana, went to camp at LSU, and they told him he was too small, and so all of a sudden Georgia Tech started recruiting him, and LSU came back and said, now we think you're big enough. But Greg Gathers ended up here, and he's fired up for this football game. Number 55 gets his hands on the face mask.
Incidental is the call, so it's 5 yards. It'll be 1st down and 5. And understand this, LSU is moving into their fan and student section, so it is particularly loud in the direction they're going. Still no score, just over 10 minutes to play, opening quarter. Tofield, left side, big opening, has 5 and has 10. 1st and 10, in fact, it'll be 1st and goal. And now here comes another late flag, as down in the secondary, possibly after the play was over, Reggie Robinson got tangled up with one of the defenders of Georgia Tech. May have been Jamari Clark. So it could be a 1st down, Mike, but a post-play foul, they would add the 15 on after the 1st is accomplished. Unsportsmanlike LSU.
But Brandon Tofield is 227 pounds, so he runs downhill. A good, strong running back. And the good thing for LSU, it didn't happen after the play, because they do have a 1st and 10 situation. LSU starts strong. They need a good start in this football game.
1st down. The new line of scrimmage is out at the 24-yard line. Tofield in motion. They set the screen to the near sideline. A lot of blockers in front. Tommy Banks, the fullback, goes inside the 15 and down to around the 13. It's a gain of 12.
Tommy Banks is a good receiver. He doesn't run the ball much, although he has one run in this football game early in the 1st quarter. He has very good hands, and you like to use him in the red zone on screens and delays.
Mike, I remember when he came to school, he weighed between 235 and 240. Tommy now weighs 275.
Food's been good at Baton Rouge.
Well, you know, you say it's helped his blocking as well, but you're right. He has nice hands. He catches the ball well. Straight ahead with Tofield. Puts the head down. Going to be down close to the 11-yard line. Defensively, Key Fox, a freshman out of Austin Westlake, or Atlanta Westlake, I should say.
When we talked to their coaches, you brought up the fact that they've had trouble on the road, and they don't want to talk about that. They've got a young football team. This is a team that will be a top 15 team next year because they have everybody back, and they've had a good year. But they need to play on the road, and that's the statement they're trying to make here in the first quarter.
Well, double jeopardy as far as on the road for the man we were just looking at, because this literally is a home game for Georgia Tech as well. Quick pass, and he had to unload that one. They were coming with the blitz. Josh Reed, the intended receiver. And now this gives Georgia Tech an opportunity to get the extra defensive backs in the ball game.
Josh Booty just couldn't get enough on the football there. Jumped up and didn't have enough arm to complete that pass.
Third down. Booty 2 of 5, 35 yards. They need to take it down to the 3-yard line to keep this drive going.
Maybe this is the time you use Robert Royal, number 86.
Keep an eye for the tight end. Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator, likes that play. Ball is down on the ground. Booty makes the recovery at the 15-yard line, and I'll tell you, you're exactly right. Royal was headed for the end zone.
He ran a corner route, Ron, and I believe that he was going to be the target. They had 2 tight ends in the football game, but at 6'5", 231, he's a good receiver. We saw the game overtime against Tennessee when he made the catch.
Caught the first big play and set up the game winner, ultimately. Corbello, a 32-yard field goal attempt for him. Booty is the holder. Good pass. He's got it. And the LSU Tigers score first in this 2000 edition of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. So we'll take a timeout. 8:26 left of this opening quarter. Tigers by 3.
Responsive Chrysler Sebring Performance Sedan. Proof that it's not the destination, it's the drive. Now lease the Chrysler Sebring LX Sedan for $259 a month.
Ohio State strong-arm Steve Bellisari duels with South Carolina's Phil Petty and the Gamecocks. South Carolina versus Ohio State, New Year's Day at 11 on ESPN.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2000 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is presented by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And in part by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And by Chrysler. We're reinventing the passion for driving. 3-0 LSU. You know, 3 seasons ago, ESPN introduced the first and 10 yellow line to the world of televised football. Well, tonight we advanced this ESPN innovation by introducing the red line, a second line to help enhance certain situations of the game. Here's an example. As we await this kickoff, The red line indicates Georgia Tech's average starting position after kickoff. So let's see how they do on this one. The season average is 26.8 yards out from the end zone. Corbello waits to kick it off. Again, it's Campbell and Hatch as the two deep men. Corbello's kick very high and very deep. 1 yard into the end zone, and Hatch will bring it out. He gets creamed as he crosses the 10 and still maintained his footing.
Ron, they didn't make it out to where they usually start. They didn't. You see the red line? I like this red line. We can use that for a lot of things in the future, but they didn't get out. Danny Crossman's the special teams coach for Georgia Tech, and he worried about the speed of LSU, and they covered well.
This is twice that LSU has gotten down on kickoffs and really hit the return man and did a great job.
Good coverage,
getting
good
there.
speed.
Adrian Karsten, let's check with you on the sideline.
Fred Booker, number 1, Ron, who is near sidelines here, one-on-one to the receiver. He may not play any more than total 1 quarter. This comes from Phil Almassian, the defensive coordinator for LSU. He's battered up, a little bothered by a left ankle injury. He doesn't want to play any more than 1 quarter. He feels the heat inside of this dome might help him out a little bit, but now with the timeout, this comes, as I say, from Almassian.
Okay, Adrian, LSU had to call a timeout because they had 12 men in the field. And you can see the head coach is not overly happy about what happened with that late substitution, which was going to give them too many men on the field, so we'll take a timeout. 7:45 left in this opening quarter. Tigers by 3.
Princess Pepe, she was kidnapped. It's my duty to bring her home.
He came to America as an Imperial Guard.
I want to teach you some stuff. Come on.
But he's going to go home a cowboy.
Do exactly as I do it.
Yeah. Ow.
Okay, we got to work on that.
Jackie Chan, Owen Wilson, Shanghai Noon.
Hey, want to do something fun with your TV? Take your TV to the movies with 4 great commercial-free movie packages from Dish Network. You and your TV can see a movie anytime, featuring Showtime Unlimited. Big titles, big stars, big screen entertainment right in your home. Individual packages start at just $10.99 a month, or get all 4 movie packages for only $35.99 a month. Up to 28 commercial-free movie channels from Dish Network. Call 1-800-333-DISH and put extra pop in your TV.
Mario Review is back, and we've got interviews, highlights, and analysis, plus the games that bring you this incredible story as it unfolds. Nobody covers the NHL like we do. Ottawa at Pittsburgh, Saturday at 7:30 on ESPN2.
Hola, Pablo.
The World Golf Championships Accenture Match Play Championship, Tuesday, January 2nd at 10 p.m. on ESPN.
LSU 3-0 over 17th ranked Georgia Tech.
Bill O'Brien, the offensive coordinator, who takes over tonight. First game for Ralph Friedgen, who has taken the head coaching job at the University of Maryland.
Gotsi sets deep in the pocket to throw. Right over the middle, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Watkins. And that ball was behind him. He had Watkins open.
I think the receivers are having a little problem coming back to the ball with the turf. But George Gotsi, when you talk about him, around 222 completions of 349 passes for 2,906 yards, but only 6 interceptions. And in high school, he threw 36 touchdown passes and only 16 interceptions. So he doesn't make many mistakes.
He's 2 of 6, 13 yards. He's missed his last 3. Third down, they need the 30. Right over the middle, has this one complete. And this tackle at the 30, it's Curry. 40 and out to the 45-yard line. Booker made a saving tackle, gain of 21.
And that's what LSU doesn't want to happen. When you talk to the LSU defensive coordinator, Phil Almation, he talked about third down is a big down for us. We got to get off the field because Georgia Tech averages between 80 and 85 offensive plays a game this year, and we cannot have that happen to us.
Fakes the ball, has all the time in the world, deep over the middle, and it's not even close as he was well over the intended receiver. Mike would need to keep an eye on a young man that's just checked into the ball game for Georgia Tech. Jermaine Hatch, number 36, redshirt freshman out of Baton Rouge, and is a real speedster. He is coming out of the ball game right now, but the coaches and also the sports information department day before yesterday at practice talked a lot about him and how he has continued to impress.
Well, you know, being from Louisiana, he wants to seal the fate of this LSU team.
This time it's Burns as the only setbacks. 4 wide receivers for the Yellow Jackets on second down. And they go straight ahead with Burns. Big opening across the 50, inside the 45, into the 44. Ryan Clark tripped him up, but it's a gain of 14.
Joe Burns scored 13 touchdowns, so when he gets inside the 20-yard line, Joe Burns is going to get the football from Bill O'Brien.
How difficult is it on the new offensive coordinator to be on the sidelines? He's normally upstairs.
Yeah, his stomach has got to be turning over flips right now.
First down from the LSU 44-yard line. They run the option again. Open side of the field. Godsey pitches it. And it's going to be Jermaine Hatch who will take it down to the 37-yard line.
Ron, there's not much change for Bill O'Brien. Ralph Friedgen ran the offense here, but he was a part of those staff meetings. So all coaches, when you hire a football coaching group, you hire the group. You don't hire one guy. And Bill O'Brien was in on all those game plans. But now, instead of worrying about the running backs, which he had to worry about before, he has to worry about every position, every call, and every defense LSU's running.
2 tight ends, 2 wide outs, and 1 setback. Godsey has pressure on him and just dumps it off. Very short pass to Heller, the tight end, for the first down. That was Mitchell, Kareem Mitchell, who was applying pressure on him.
And go back to Bill O'Brien. I was thinking about when we talked to him, we said, you know, LSU has only given up 1 touchdown in the first quarter, and he said, I'm very aware of that statistic. So he knows, you know, he knows everybody here knows Ralph Friedgen's not here. He wants to put his stamp on this team right now.
First down for Georgia Tech, far and away their most consistent drive, as Godsey swings the ball out in the flat. Nice defensive play, Robert Davis. Will Glover made the catch, and as soon as he did, he got whacked. Chris Fowler, let's check with you.
Ron, thank you. Trying to come back UCLA down a point in the Sun Bowl. He'd been burned by Freddie Mitchell all day, but Jamar Fletcher on the carom here comes up with a huge interception to seal the victory, and the Badgers have now closed it out. A 1-point win over UCLA in the Sun Bowl, guys.
Wow.
Freddie Mitchell, that was Rod Gilmore's guy all year. He thought that Freddie should be the Blitnikoff guy.
Breaks it open. 30, 25, 20. Burns will score.
Bill O'Brien just started breathing, and now he's the new offensive coordinator at Georgia Tech, so he can take a breath now.
That's really something. Only the 3rd touchdown that LSU was allowed in the first quarter this entire season. Mange with the extra point attempt. It is up, and it is good. So with 5:32 left in this opening quarter, the Yellow Jackets have answered, and it's a 32-yard run by the sophomore out of Thomasville, Georgia, Joe Burns. And look at this burst of speed. Nice lead block of James.
They brought the safety in man coverage, and a poor job in the secondary, but a very nice block that sprung Joe Burns. Speed on AstroTurf.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2000 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is brought to you by Nicorette Gum. You can do it. Nicorette can help. By Discover Card for the slightly smarter consumer. And by 10, 220. Dial it and talk up to 20 minutes for only 99 cents. Centennial Olympic Park. It was built in 1996, of course, when the Olympics were here. And inside the Georgia Dome, we mentioned off the top of the telecast that they are expecting another record crowd, even a newer record than that one of last year. There's no seats left in this one. 7-3, Georgia Tech on top, and the fans have not been disappointed. They have seen wall-to-wall action so far. From the one, this is Dominic Davis. Davis stopped short of the 20-yard line. Rhino on the tackle. Capital One Bowl Week continues later tonight on ESPN with the Culligan Holiday Bowl at 8:30 Eastern. Chris Sims gets the nod at quarterback for Texas, and he'll battle it out with Joey Harrington as the 11th-ranked Oregon Ducks take on Texas in San Diego. For more, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football on the Internet. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten from Atlanta, Georgia. Good to have you along with us. Davis, number 31, comes in a tailback on this series. Going to get it to him in first down. Bounces at 20, 25, runs into his own man, as you can see from the marker. It's going to be a gain of just beyond 10 yards. He'll have the first down.
Now, Dominic Davis is more speed for LSU. He replaces LeBrandon Tofield at the tailback position. Tofield 227. Now Dominic Davis 5'10", 206. But he has great speed, and especially on this carpet. Now he's going to be fast.
We were told prior to the ball game also that LSU will use a third tailback, Devery Henderson, the freshman out of Opelousas. So we'll see and keep an eye for him when he checks into the lineup. Two tight ends. Pitch comes back to Davis, gets a good lead block, and in fact he'll have it to around the 33-yard line. Collins tripped him up, but a nice job of blocking over there on the right side by Pearson Smalling. Myers, Reggie Robinson check in at wide receiver as Banks goes to the sideline, and tight end DiMaggio goes out of the game as well. Moody, short drop, quick look in, and he's got Myers. Ran right into the defender, but 19 very quick yards.
Ron, Jarrell Myers is a physical wide receiver. Josh Moody hits him right on the break on the quick slant against Chris Young. This is well done. Ball's going to be delivered right on time. Now good yardage for number 3, Jarrell Myers.
Moody is now 3 of 6 for 54 yards as you look at Myers on the bench getting a breather. And again, LSU goes with that 2 tight ends and only 1 wide receiver. And he got a 2-man route looking for the tight end, and the ball is incomplete, and Booty couldn't tell if he got hit by a Georgia Tech player or bumped into an offensive lineman's foot.
I believe Nick Rogers pressured him. I'm not sure exactly what happened with his footwork, but he did look like he was going down as he delivered the football.
2-man route. He had Royal out there. Let's look at it.
Nick Rogers pressuring.
See his
knocked him back into Rodney Reed, the left tackle.
When you get stepped on by 284, it's hard to look graceful. 2nd down and 10. Pressure again. They set screen to the other side, and because of the pressure by Gathers, he overthrew the screen. And boy, did they have some running room out there on the open side of the field.
Yeah, you know Gathers. Now, again, he wants to play in this football game. All ACC defensive end. You got to slow him down a little bit. The right side there, that was a lookout block. You just yell at your quarterback, look out. Brad Smalling just got beat on the snap.
He's the one replacing Brandon Whitey. So the situation is the Georgia Tech defensive fans come to life. It's 3rd down, and the LSU needs to take it to the 39. Yellow Jackets lead it 7-3. Booty got a man wide open over the middle and had to throw too quickly. Josh Reed was underneath the umbrella of the defense and had a big gainer.
Greg Gather says, you think I'm too small? How do I look now? Because he hit Josh Booty as he threw the football. He had Josh Reed wide open.
On this next punt, we'll superimpose the red line for you to indicate LSU's updated net punt average for the season. So let's see how the coverage team stacks up on their average. The left footer, boy, he bangs this one. Wobbly spiral, hits it to 2 and goes into the end zone. 49 yards in the punt. Nothing on the return.
And again, LSU not able to continue the drive. Just what we talked about Georgia Tech's defense. They'll let you go a little ways, and then they put the clamp on you.
Because of the pressure, they had some good routes and had some people open in the secondary. He just didn't have time to set and get the ball off.
Ron, they were wide open. But with
Reed
Greg
particularly.
Gathers is saying, I don't care. You can't throw when laying on the ground.
Godsey swings it out of the backfield, and it is caught after being juggled by Jermaine Hatch. And Jermaine will take it to the 25-yard line. You might have to give him 2 catches on that one because he had it and popped it in the air and caught it again. Clark and Booker on the tackle.
And George Godsey again with just a little throw over the defensive end. Jarvis Green. Hatch, as you said, had 2 chances. Booker on the tackle.
Straight ahead with the running play, and as you can see, Hatch just ran it to his own man. Trevor Falk credited for the tackle.
We talked to Ralph Friedgen last night, and he talked about George Godsey. He said, I wasn't sure about George Godsey, and he said in the Florida State game he got stitches in his chin, and then he pulled a hamstring in the second quarter. He benched him, brought another quarterback in, but he said in the fourth quarter he led us to a comeback, and he said he knew that kid had heart.
Third down, they need to take it to the 30-yard line as Godsey rolls it to the right and gets his pass complete. And now let's see where he's going to mark him. Ooh, the LSU fans don't like this. They thought he got a very favorable spot.
A good tackle by Robert Davis.
It really was. The replay will show if he was, in fact, across that 30-yard line or not, because he got cracked immediately.
I've seen this group officiate this year, and I think they're an outstanding group from Conference USA. Let's see about this play. Kelly Campbell going in motion.
Ooh, Mike, his right foot is on the short side of the 30-yard line. They gave him a full yard almost on the spot. That should have been 4th down, Georgia Tech.
A tough call for LSU's defense.
Godsey, short drop, dumps it right over the middle. Burns dances his way for a gain of about 9 yards. And this is the kind of stuff that Godsey will drive you crazy with. Aesthetically, it is not necessarily a thing of beauty, but it is just so efficient.
Ron, he has 2 things that go on for him. And one, he was a baseball pitcher. And I like quarterbacks that were baseball pitchers because you're always throwing to a target. Second thing is they run the option. They limit the defensive schemes of opposing teams because of the option.
About to go under 1 minute left to play in his opening quarter. That's going to be enough for the first down as Burns carries, runs right into Lawrence.
And this is not a good sign for LSU because all of a sudden Georgia Tech is doing what they've done all year. They keep the football and go on long drives and keep your defense on the field. Your offense can't score because they're on the bench.
Biggest down of the year for Georgia Tech. 3rd down and 18 against Central Florida. They're down in the ball game. Godsey throws a 25-yard completion. They score again. They come from behind and win the game, and it's like that's where they turn the corner. Godsey under pressure. Got by the defender and caught, but out of bounds. That was a great effort by Nate Curry, freshman out of Miami.
You talked about that Central Florida game and then the NC State game where they had a 13-0 lead and lost the game to NC State. And they came back and George O'Leary talked to his staff and said we didn't play enough players. They only played 28 players on offense and defense. so they decided to substitute more. Morale got better. Guys are fresher, and they turned it around.
Quick out pass, an uncovered receiver, Kelly Campbell, and he breaks it up the sideline as a flag comes down. Campbell with a stiff arm will take it for the touchdown.
I think what happened, Ron, is the referee's going to call a legal procedure because George Godsey saw the uncovered receiver, but he moved too fast, and the backs weren't set, and that's exactly what's going to be called.
So mark out a 59-yard touchdown. Just what Mike's talking about. LSU was late coming out of that defensive huddle, and Campbell was just left alone. Nobody was out there on him.
George Godsey, he's in such a hurry. He said, there's nobody out there. I'm going to get the ball out to him. But his backs weren't ready.
See, there's nobody on him.
It's a fullback. He's moving too soon. And there's nobody. Ed Wilder, the fullback, moved. Kelly Campbell for the touchdown. It's a good thing the band didn't start playing because they'd have had to stop the fight song in the middle.
27 seconds left to play.
But that's what he does, Ron. George Godsey knows this entire offense, and he sees things, and that wasn't hard to seal.
Well, this time the ball is never snapped by Schmidgall. Bennett came out of his stance. And it's going to be back-to-back 5-yard penalties against the Yellow Jackets.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And you're talking about now the LSU fans a little closer to where Georgia Tech trying to make a lot of noise here to help their defense. LSU substituting a lot of players on defense. They talked about how hot it gets in the dome, and your players get tired quick.
Didn't want them to be tired in the fourth quarter. Second down and 20. Godsey, right up in the middle. Got his tight end, overthrows him at the 46-yard line.
There's an area in too deep coverage, and I've said it for a long time, but up 15 to 25 yards, you got to get that ball in there quickly to your tight ends. You can't hang him out like this. There's an area, but he has got to get the football down and got away from him. Because if you hang it up, the safeties are going to hang your tight end up.
Third down and 20. Godsey deep over the middle. Well, the closest to it was Glover, and he almost got underneath it to catches. The two defensive backs, one thought the other was going to pick it off, and neither went after it.
Ron, that plays an all-go. You have 4 wide receivers. You just send them all down the field. Just go, run. I'll read the safeties, and I'll try to figure out when I'm going to throw the football and put it up for grabs. And Damian James was the defensive back against Will Glover.
Dyke with his second punt of the afternoon. 5 more minutes, we got to say, of the evening. 16 ticks left on the clock in this opening quarter. Flag goes down, driving spiral. And it's fumbled, picked up at the 15 by Davis. And Davis is going to run out of bounds over here on the near side of the field. 51 yards on the kick and 3 on the return. So they're going to ask him to kick this one again after a 51-yard kick.
Here's what happens sometimes when you have 2 wide outs gunners on your punt team. They've got to be covered outside, but all of a sudden LSU said, we're not going to cover you, we're going to rush the punt. That forces the wide gunner on that side to come back inside.
Illegal formation on the kicking team. Only 6 players on the scrimmage line. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
And that's what happened, Ron. You just see this. There's only 5 right here, and all of a sudden, the 6th guy's coming in, but there's not a 7th guy. Now the defensive guy's in here. He forced him inside. Now you can hold him up a little bit and not get the good coverage.
So we'll try it again. 4th down and 25. 5 seconds left in this first quarter. Yes, this one may be better than the last one. Davis, fair catch all the way back at the 22-yard line. 52 yards on this kick. And that is the end of the first quarter at this 2000 edition of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. And as a change ends in the field, we'll take a timeout. It is Georgia Tech 7 and the LSU Tigers 3.
The Winter X Games begin February 2nd.
We never know when a storm is going to hit.
Call me later.
I will. But there are thousands of us at Georgia Power ready to go at the drop of a hard hat. We have one of the most sophisticated systems in the country. So hopefully our customers will barely feel a thing. Of course, sometimes Mother Nature knocks off early. That's okay, too. We know she's coming back. We'll be ready.
Yes. One more time. For the sum, I'm serious.
Sure, let's play for $1.
I'm not that serious.
Guys, $1 isn't serious.
Then you must not know about 10-10-2-20.
Remind me. About 10-10-2-20. All calls up to 20 minutes, 99 cents.
Just 7 cents a minute after that.
It's got to be a monthly fee.
No.
In that case, I'll shoot for $1.
Can you do that? Too short.
Dial 10-10-220.
I'm sorry I'm late, gentlemen. Ready for the game? I'm going to sort these tickets out. Excuse me. Excuse me, miss.
Back to the queue, right?
Excuse me, mister.
Wait your turn.
Oh, that was awkward. On to plan B.
You know, now you can buy tickets online and print them out yourself.
Oh, she tell you? She quit.
No more cigarettes.
Gave them up all at once.
Tough, but it's the best way.
Total commitment.
And total smart.
Yeah, well, Nicoderm CQ.
Nicotine cravings are rough. Last time, cold turkey. I was bad company.
There was this time that she... Oh.
With CQ, I get the highest level of nicotine, step down gradually, 3 steps forward, no steps back. That's my plan.
Nicoderm CQ, the power to help you quit.
Now, let's talk about some of your bad habits.
Seven to 3 as we start the second quarter. Ralph Friedgen, the new head football coach at the University of Maryland, sitting up in the stands, and Mike, he's got to feel lost. He doesn't have a quarterback to talk to, doesn't have a headset to be on right now.
No, he's sweating, too. He knows George Godsey's back next year, and he's got to play against him. But he'd love to be on this football field. He said to us last night he's going to miss being in this game.
He really likes Godsey individually as well. Also said he did not want to be a distraction today as LSU goes with a running play. Out around the 25 is Dominic Davis. So it'll be a gain of 3, maybe 3.5. Nick Rogers defensively for the Yellow Jackets.
And he wanted to coach in this game, but he had to get busy signing the staff at Maryland and getting out recruiting. And this is a dead period right now, so that gives him the opportunity to watch this game. But you get very close to the players as a coach, and I know he misses being in the heat of the action.
Running play again, runs into his own blocker. Nice job by Georgia Tech. Not much space to run. T. Fox, the first man to get there. Number 54, the young linebacker out of Atlanta Westlake. Only a freshman, has a big cast on his hand, but as the coaches say, the way his motor runs, something like that's not going to slow him down, just a simple broken hand.
No, the LSU, the result of they've not been able to handle Greg Gathers. And so they're trying to run the football to take a little pressure off of Josh Goody. but they're now forced into a third down situation. Still look for him to go to Robert Royal here eventually, the tight end.
Third down, they need to take it to the 32. Booty got a man open, and it's a first down to Reggie Robinson. Reggie Robinson will take it out all the way across the 45. It's good for 21 yards, and he just ran right out of his shoe.
When we watched practice 2 days ago here in the Dome, Reggie Robinson in a 2-minute drill, every team will go against their first defense, first offense, and Reggie Robinson caught a pass just like this and took it all the way and showed great speed. So a very good receiver, 6'2" frame, but it has great speed.
And that was number one against number one.
Number one against one, and Nick Saban didn't like that because he's a defensive guy.
That's right. The offense is really giving it to him. Booty steps up now under pressure, going to be hit, loses the football. Recovered by LSU.
See this?
Rob Sale.
This is what you can't do if you're Josh Booty. You can't turn the football over because this is an opportunistic defense.
Nick Rogers was the man applying for. He's the one that knocks it loose. You could see Gathers coming after him.
And Josh Booty made the mistake of when he started to scramble, looked like he was going to run. He did not tuck the football away, and the strip came from Nick Rogers.
Smart play by Sales. Did a nice job of recovering, using his body as the shield. Now it's second down, and we're going to say 16. This time they roll the pocket, and the ball thrown well off the mark. Myers was the closest man to it.
Gathers again, Ron. Josh Booty would like to take that back, and they said he was too small to do it. Hey, he's good enough to play for us. Greg Gathers is just a player today that just wants to play in the worst way. He wants to beat LSU and prove to them that he can play football.
So here come the Tigers. Let's see if Georgia Tech's going to close the door again. Third down. They need to take it to the Georgia Tech 44-yard line. Pressure as they set up a screen into the boundary, and that ball is thrown too high to Tofield. Gathers with pressure again, and I'll tell you, Booty is rattled right now. No question about it.
What they have to tell the tackle to that side is block Gathers a little bit. I know it's a screen, and you want to invite them all in, but at least let me get it off.
And it's Smalling who is over on that side, is replacing Whitey, who has the broken bone in his hand.
And he's having his hands full. We're going to have to put the tight end to that side to extend Gathers out a little further.
Left footer's kick. This is a rocket. Wobbly spiral all the way back to the 11-yard line. Toronto gets a couple of tackles and is finally going to be hit. Loses the football at the 43-yard line. LSU has recovered.
I couldn't tell who made the tackle, but somebody pulled the football out.
Damian James is the man who made the hit and caused the turnover.
Did a good job of pulling the football out. Now, here's a time that you think about going for all the 7 points here. Take a shot to throw the ball down the field. After a turnover, you usually think the defense is going to come out, maybe down a little bit. The offense just fumbled the ball, or the special teams, and take your shot.
So a timeout has been called with 11:59 left until halftime, and we'll take it with them. Georgia Tech 7, LSU 3, and when we return, we'll see if the Tigers can take advantage of the turnover.
In case of an emergency, make sure you're in the right vehicle. The all-new Dodge Grand Caravan, the best minivan ever, with a safety cage body structure, head impact protection, front airbags that deploy at different levels depending on conditions, and available side airbags. Dodge Caravan. It's not a minivan, it's a mini vault. The all-new Dodge Caravan. Different.
I'm grateful that Michael Garcia is in our lives.
State Farm, Mike Garcia speaking.
We had a house fire, house burned.
That was a tough day.
He didn't treat us as a policy holder, he treated us as a neighbor, as a friend.
I gave him a check right away. We went from there to putting the pieces back together.
He's not a hero in the sense of a sports hero or a movie star. He's a quiet hero.
He looks out for everyone in the neighborhood.
It's gone from being a slogan to really being my way of life.
When I go, I go. I get in the zone and everything gets left behind, especially my old antiperspirant. It never kept me dry, but this one's different. High endurance red zone. The strongest form of wetness protection ever made, just for guys who sweat big. Nothing is stronger. High endurance red zone absorbs in the skin to help stop odor and sweat where it starts. Guaranteed. Or call 1-800-PROVE-IT and Old Spice will buy you a stick of yours. Come on, take a dry run in the red zone. Intense protection for intense people.
7-3. It is Georgia Tech leading, but Rhino with a fumble on the punt return, and LSU has the ball at the 44-yard line of the Yellow Jackets. Play action by Booty. Waited too long. He's going to be sacked. Ball is loose, and they say he is down. No fumble.
That was a good timeout call by Georgia Tech because they did try to go for all the marbles right there. Georgia Tech made the timeout call, assembled the defense, and it was a right time to call the timeout.
Gary Johnson is the man who made the hit on the quarterback.
They're going to have to do something with Brad Smalling. They've got to help number 74 against Greg Gathers. He just cannot handle him one-on-one. It's just impossible at this point in the football game.
Brad, only a sophomore out of West Monroe, Louisiana, and now Booty wants to call a timeout.
Now they're rattled.
So we'll take a commercial break. 11:09 remaining until halftime, and it's Georgia Tech by 4.
You know what? It's decision time.
You have to decide. Are you going to get that body in shape or just let it slide?
There's an easy way to do it. The secret is Bowflex. Bowflex is about strength training, working out to get stronger and build muscle.
You burn calories, and it reshapes your body.
Over 60 different health club quality exercises, all in one easy-to-use machine.
Bowflex, it's for real.
You look great.
It actually works.
This feels great.
Hey, I'm 42, and I'm in better shape now than I was at 22.
You just feel better about yourself.
Hey, you want to lose weight?
Get the results you want. Bowflex will work.
You just have to try.
Bowflex is the only choice for home fitness.
Call now for a free video and brochure, or go online at BowflexDirect.com. Get started with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month.
Bowflex. Who says change isn't easy?
The Nokia Sugar Bowl, as much a part of college football as ABC Sports. Miami faces Florida, Tuesday night at 8, 5 Pacific.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2000 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is presented by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And in part by Dodge and nearly 3,000 dealers who invite you to come see what's different. Atlanta for the holidays. Tell you what, it got very, very brief lot of blue sky, but the temperature is not very high. Mike commented as we came to the ball game, good thing this one's being played indoors. Second down this time from the shotgun. They set that screen back to the short side of the field. Tofield tries to get by the defender and just simply could not as Nick Rogers stayed at home and made the tackle.
Now on that play, Georgia Tech moved Greg Gathers inside on number 78, Dwayne Pierce. Here he is right here. He smells the screen, tries to get out here to help on it. Very, very good football player. But they move all over the place.
They lined up Claybrooks at the defensive end spot. Third down. Pressure again. Booty going to be sacked. Third time that they have gotten to him, in LSU this season's been pretty tough to get to.
They really haven't. Greg Gathers again, and that's what Ted Roof is doing. They're moving him around. Now he's working on Pierce, number 78. And you said Claybrooks, who's a very good pass rusher, he moves against Smalling on the outside. They have not been able to figure out a plan for Greg Gathers.
Fourth time that LSU has had to punt in his opening half. Donnie Jones's longest punt, 49. This one's end over end. Caught at the 18-yard line. Rhino, and he's going to take that thing all the way back across the 40. Ball is fumbled, and Georgia Tech has recovered this one. Boy, that's two in a row that Rhino hadn't been able to hold on to.
Great return, but can't finish the deal.
37 yards in the kick, 22 on the return.
Just has the ball extended. LSU had a shot at recovering that football.
Gregory is the man who made the recovery. So here comes Georgia Tech. They lead it 7-3, just over 9.5 minutes to play until halftime. Godsey goes with a running play. Running hard is Burns. And he will have a couple of yards. That's about it. Falk for that middle linebacking spot making the tackle.
We talked about Fred Booker's injury. Still in the ball game. We saw a great performance at Tennessee and LSU with Rohan Davey playing on one ankle. Here's Booker trying to play through an injury. Here's Rohan.
Muskegon Barnes, number 91, a junior out of Moss Point, Mississippi, is the injured LSU player down on the field as you look at Booker, who is coming up to take a look at his fallen teammate. LSU is not overly deep on defense, and with Kendrick Allen unable to go today, now Barnes is down with an injury. They're going deep into the closet to get some folks that haven't seen a lot of playing time.
And that's the side of the ball they were worried about. They needed the layoff to try to get some injured players back.
Weeknights at ESPN Classic Sports Century brings you the top 50 and beyond. Tonight at 8 o'clock, the life and career of Michael Jordan. Take a look back at his 5 MVP seasons and his 6 NBA titles and his days as a minor league baseball player. To order, ESPN Classic, dial 1-800-CLASSIC. Barnes still down, and now they're helping him up at the 47. Jack Marucci, the LSU trainer, the gentleman on the right-hand side of the screen, is he's really had his hands full and is getting busier as this afternoon goes on.
He needs all the help he can get with the training staff. Nick Saban 0-3 and Bowles as a head coach would like nothing better than to pull this win out here today and give himself his first win in Bowles.
Trailing by 4 right now, just over 9 minutes to play until halftime. You see LSU bring the safety up late, and they go with a reverse. Campbell down the sideline, 40, 35, inside the 30. And here comes a late flag in as he finally is stopped at the 25. 28 yards on the play.
Well, a good block by Nate Curry, number 5, sealing the linebacker inside. Here's Nate Curry, number 5. Watch this block right there in the inside, and springs Kelly Campbell on the outside. Here's Nate Curry. Receivers, you got to be able to block. And he takes all of his 186 pounds inside and makes the block.
So the new line of scrimmage following that penalty is the LSU 21. They give it to Burns. Comes to the right side, bounces it outside, puts the head down, and it's a 4 tough-yard run. And Brady James on the stop. Didn't know how much we were going to see Brady in this ball game today. He is normally the starter at that weak side linebacking spot. And our hearts go out to him and to his family. He lost his father the day before Christmas. Just came in last night. And playing a team that runs so much option and so much multiple situations as does Georgia Tech, they weren't sure how much they were going to be able to use him. Moorhan has been playing a lot, but Brady back in the ball game right now. They come back to that right side again, and there's Brady James to make the tackle again for LSU, but they are inside the 10, and it'll be 1st and goal, Georgia Tech.
Talk about Brady James and Trev Falk, 2 of the best young linebackers in the country, both sophomores. And now, Ron, you look at this situation with Georgia Tech. LSU can ill afford to fall too far behind this ball club because offensively they don't have enough firepower.
Jermaine Hatch is the late offensive player checking in to the lineup. He is at tailback. And they'll give it to him. Blocker in front. That's Wilder. Turns the corner at the 5, and he'll score. Ed Wilder, very businesslike, got out in front with all 255 pounds and led Jermaine Hatch into the end zone as he just mowed down the man on the outside. Monje with the extra point up, and it's good. We'll take a timeout. Our new score at the 8:17 mark of the second quarter is Georgia Tech 14 and LSU 3. As you take one more look at the touchdown by Hatch, the redshirt freshman out of Baton Rouge.
Where can you see Bruce, Michelle, Pierce, and Nicholas and get a great bonus? Only on Showtime Unlimited with 10 channels for only $10.99. Call now to order the latest Hollywood movies and more. You'll get 6 channels of Showtime and 2 of the movie channels, plus 2 bonus channels, Flix and Sundance channels. It's a great value. 10 channels for only $10.99. Call and order Showtime Unlimited now.
3 best friends. One became a priest. One a rabbi. And the other has a confession to make.
I'm in love with Jake.
Ben Stiller, Edward Norton, Jenna Elfman.
And Nancy, your oi.
Keeping the faith. Rated PG-13.
Every Sunday, ESPN Classic reminds you why some of the biggest titles in sports weren't won on the field. They were watched on the screen.
Let's go while we're young.
Hollywood's biggest films.
Let's show them what we got, guys.
And its heaviest hitters. Real classics. Premieres Sunday, January 7th at 9 on ESPN Classic. To get ESPN Classic, call 1-800-CLASSIC today.
Hatch scoring his first touchdown. Knocked it into the end zone, and how memorable will this one be coming against the LSU Tigers? He is from Baton Rouge. 5 plays, 58 yards, a minute and 15 seconds.
Can you imagine what he's feeling now? I mean, knowing that everybody back home is watching him and maybe lost track of him. Where's old Hatch? everybody his new address.
Henderson and Davis, the two deep men for the Tigers, as Monjay moves forward. And here's the kick, very high. And this one's going to be 2 yards deep in the end zone, returned by Davis. I'll tell you what, Georgia Tech
good special teams
has really done a nice job on special teams, particularly kickoff coverage. Capital One Bowl Week continues Sunday on ESPN with the Sanford Independence Bowl at 8 o'clock Eastern. Mississippi State going up against Texas A&M from Shreveport, Louisiana. For more, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football on the internet.
That game will get your blood boiled. Those two teams.
Davis and Banks, the two setbacks this time, as LSU scrimmages from deep in their own territory. This is Davis. No place to go. Does finally turn the corner to maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but it's Claybrooks who forced him out. Adrian, let's check with you.
Big number 91, Muskingum Barnes for LSU. Bad news. Probable torn ligament in his right knee, Ron. They say doubtful, but he's done. He's done.
Okay, Adrian, good hustle there. That's, you saw earlier, our cameraman had a shot of Kendrick Allen, who had on his street clothes, and now Muskingum Barnes, the starter next to him. So the entire left side of the defensive line wiped out for this ball game tonight. 2nd down and 11. Out in the flat, this is Banks. 25 at the 30, and Arthur Brown made the tackle. 17 yards in the play, and I just don't think that would be a lot of fun, Mike, when you see 275 pounds coming at you after catching those little swing pass.
No, he's got a running start, too. Tommy Banks, big in the offense today, catching the football out of the backfield. But that was a big completion for Josh Booty. Things have not gone well in the last 2 series.
2 catches for Banks now for a total of 28 yards. Corner blitz. Booty got a man there, and he throws it complete to Myers.
That was a great throw. Under duress.
Nick Rogers was all over.
Yeah, and Josh Booty shows you the strength of his arm there with making that throw. They had the right call on defense. They bring the short corner safety blitz. Nick Rogers pressure, but he's able to get the ball to Jarrell Myers. A good, strong arm. That was a big league play.
You could see Young had good position. Couldn't have covered him a lot closer, but as Mike said, great pass by Booty. 2nd down. Here comes safety blitz. They go with the running play. Davis hit behind the line of scrimmage to be knocked down by Myers, the free safety who had come up on the blitz.
Yeah, Georgia Tech not tipping off their defense, waiting until the last second, jumping into an 8-9-man front to stop the run. They got a bead on LSU's offense right now. They really are doing a good job.
Jimbo Fisher has not been able to get one of those passes to his tight ends yet.
He can't run the football, and he's got to depend on throwing a drop-back passing game here.
3rd down. Line to make is the 40. Georgia Tech, 14-3. Just under 7 minutes left until halftime. Booty throws this one, almost intercepted. Robinson cut in, was the man intended for, and Clark stepped in front. He'd have walked 40 for a touchdown.
And you got to think in back of Josh Booty's mind, and Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator, is, do we think about using number 6, Rohan Davey? He's healthy. We saw him against Tennessee. After the UAB game, they publicly criticized Josh Booty, but Josh Booty has come back and really done a great job.
Donnie Jones with his 5th punt of the first half. This is going to be end over end. Rhino on the run from the 30. 40. Holds on to this one. Crowd roars. Oh, this is right. He had fumbled 2 in a row. So when he held on to this one in a 16-yard return, he got a standing ovation. So there's a timeout. 6:36 until halftime. Right back.
Get a free Cows and Sports calendar containing $30 worth of food. Visit ChickFilAPeachBowl.com by midnight tonight.
When cold winds begin to blow and storm clouds start to grow, don't let
With its legendary four-wheel drive capability,
drive you to despair. Just make an angel.
Jeep Grand Cherokee can go where no ordinary 4x4 can. This is the season to visit your local Jeep dealer.
1-800-COLLECT presents Ava Save-A-Lot.
Nice 540.
Thanks, but my change fell out and I need to make a call.
Change? Just dial 1-800-COLLECT.
That saves at least $1 or $2, right?
Oh, it saves a lot.
I gotta remember that. Dude, it's cake. For a collect call, dial 1-800-COLLECT.
You could remember that doing a goofy-footed double fakey ollie grind.
Okay, I'll try.
Or maybe not.
1-800-COLLECT. Save $1 or $2.
The historic Atlanta Underground. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, Adrian Karsten, welcoming you back to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in Atlanta. 14-3 Georgia Tech, just over 6 minutes left until halftime, and an awfully important stop for the LSU Tigers right here.
And the bad news for LSU is they can't stop the running game of Georgia Tech. So Georgia Tech can continue to run the football, but now the passing game should be wide open.
Jermaine Hatch, the lone setback, and they hand it off to him. Little stretch play, breaks one tackle, then knocked down hard after a gain of 3. Thomas and Falk combining on the tackle.
And Trev Falk leads LSU in tackles with 113, 77 solo tackles. Started the final 8 games of his freshman year, and then now has been a very big player in his sophomore year.
Hatch again, right up the middle. Has 5, has 10, cut it off at about 13 yards on the carry. May say officially 14 yards. Damian James made the tackle.
They opened that hole up on the weak side of the line, and Jermaine Hatch probably saw the end zone with that wide hole. Look at it over here. Just look at that area. And a good cutback behind Trev Falk.
Georgia Tech quickly back to the line of scrimmage. They run that end around. Nate Curry, and this time not much. They ran it into the boundary, and Ryan Clark was right there to stop that play dead in its tracks.
And Phil Almation, the defensive coordinator at LSU, talks about Ryan Clark. He said he's a quarterback on defense. He loves that the effort that Ryan Clark gives his football team. Phil, Wisconsin, Washington, Virginia Tech, and a lot of good programs.
Second down, Hatch again, full head of steam, and he is going to have another Georgia Tech first down. Trevor Falk on the tackle, but whatever they are dialing, it is working. Raymond Roberts Blake, number 66, the left guard, with an outstanding block on that play.
And in fairness to LSU, with the injuries that they've had, they're playing a little short on the defensive line.
If you just joined us, the entire left side of the defensive front, both Allen and Barnes, gone for the ball game. Fumble the snap. Dotsey picks it up, fumbles again, and it is recovered by LSU.
Well, that's a big break for LSU.
Brady James comes up with the recovery. And I believe Jeremy Lawrence is the man who knocked it loose.
Looked like the snap wasn't clean. Never got the football. And he couldn't secure it after he fumbled it on the ground. Didn't have enough time to get it back in. Picks it up. Doesn't have it in. Good, tough hit by Lionel Thomas, number 28.
So Booty's got 4 minutes and 57 seconds to work with. They go with the running play. Cofield hit behind the line of scrimmage by Gathers.
And on the other side, the offensive line for LSU is just getting humbled. And you see Rodney Reed, and he's gone to the offensive lineman, and they just blocked that the wrong way because they had an open defensive lineman. Rick Trickett, the offensive line coach, LSU, is going to have a lot of diagramming at halftime.
Second down and 14. You see the clock running. Short drop by Booty. Zinged it a little too strongly to Reed. Incomplete. Adrian, what do you have for us?
Well, Ron, we started the game talking about how hot it might get inside here, the dome with a sellout crowd. 71.2 degrees is the temperature inside the dome right now. Ironically, it's not so much the heat, it's the noise that's really making the difference here. LSU brought 21,000 people. Georgia Tech brought 21,000 people just down the road 3 miles. LSU has gone to a silent count. Josh Booty is having some trouble with that, which is why he's not performing very well. Noise makes the biggest factor right now in the heat time.
Boy, it's coming on again. Third down. They need to take it all the way out to the 40-yard line. And here comes a blitz in the middle. Booty's pass on the look-in. Got it. Breaks the tackle. That is Robinson. And finally tackled at the 37 by Clark. Good for 10 yards.
Defense, give them the football. The offense not able. Bad first down. They're not able to get anything on first down. They're going to have to throw the ball on first down to try to get some yardage and to open up their attack a little bit more. Here comes Rhino.
6 punts. Line drive. Rhino on the run at the 26. Puts the head down. It goes underneath the tackler. And he'll take it to the 31-yard line as... that's Mays, Adrian Mays on the tackle. 38 on the kick, 5 on the return.
And just got over our red line there. So Rhino doing the job for Georgia Tech.
14-3, Georgia Tech.
You almost think if you're LSU right now that you better guard against a long pass here. Kelly Campbell, Kerry Watkins, because they've run the ball so effectively, they may try to spring the deep throw on you.
Play action. Yahtzee and the flat. Got it to McVay, the tight end, and he'll have the first down as he steps out of bounds at the 43.5. Chris Fowler, let's check in with you.
Well, Ron, we're charting some trends in bowl games. One of them, the struggles of the SEC so far, high-scoring games, and the underdogs having their day. We'll talk about that. The Dodge Different halftime report as Rod Gilmore joins me. We'll also feature the best of Ask Adrian from this season, guys.
That ought to be good.
Yeah, Chris, you're going to enjoy that. We enjoy it every week, but this is really something.
Straight ahead with the running play and not much there. Thomas making the tackle, gain of, well, actually I'm going to say no gain. It'll be a second down and 10.
Bill O'Brien, now the new offensive coordinator, has got everything he wants in the playbook right now because the offensive line handling the defensive line of LSU. Godsey, good ball handler. You got wide receivers out there that can make big plays. So anything you want to dial up right now, you got an opportunity.
To the 50-yard line is Joe Burns. Damian James making the tackle.
Talk about Georgia Tech's offense, Ron. The first 5 games, they had only 4 plays of 30 or more yards. The last 6 games, they had 15 plays of over 30 yards or more. So they became a big play offensive football team under Ralph Friedgen and Bill O'Brien.
Third down. Pass is intercepted. Put it right in the arms of Lawrence. And he's tackled by Godsey, who saves the touchdown.
Jeremy Lawrence read the quick screen. Now, LSU's offense has to be able to take advantage of this. Quick screen, just a very good job by Jeremy Lawrence, number 56. George Godsey didn't have enough on the football.
Normally, as you take a look at this graphic and on the season and tonight, the fact that that's 4 turnovers by Georgia Tech, normally you chop that man on the outside, but didn't get him all the way down.
This has got to be a throwing down, I believe, for LSU.
Georgia Tech shows blitz. They stay at home. They run a little counter play, and it's nothing. I mean, maybe a loss of 1, as Brian Corrin, a senior out of Albany, Georgia, steps up to make the tackle.
The reason I felt like the first down's a good throwing down for LSU because they can't run the football on first down. Then you get in, you get behind the chains. Now you have to throw the football. The guesswork's out of play calling now.
Well, we keep looking for big Robert Royal, the tight end. Let's see if they dial him up on this series right here.
Josh Reed's another wide receiver that needs to get his hands on the football.
Booty, backside pressure, ball almost intercepted by Nick Rogers. And a flag is down. That's going to be offensive holding of Smalling.
And Brad Smalling is, he's going to see Greg Gathers in his sleep. But that's all part of an adjustment that's got to be made at halftime. You've got to put the tight end over on that side, or you've got to have a back to help against Greg Gathers. He cannot handle him one-on-one. That's impossible.
You could see Nick Rogers actually jump too high.
But that's going to be conversation that Nick Saban's going to talk to his offensive group about at halftime. And I think you'll see in the second half some adjustments to try to slow down Greg Gathers.
So here come the Tigers, second down at about 21. They need to take it down to the Georgia Tech 22-yard line. Tech leads it 14-3. Tofield. And he will go inside the 40. Clay Brooks defensively for Georgia Tech.
And that's a play call where you've got third and forever, and you try to catch somebody off balance, but the fans don't like that call. So but you still have a third down situation here to hit something downfield. Rohan Davey waits his turn. First down was the bad down. That got you behind the chains. Now you're here in third and
17. Third down and 17. Shotgun formation by Booty. And he's going to call timeout.
And that adds to the frustration because on the sideline, he's not going to meet with happy people.
Well, while we have a moment, our host here in Atlanta had a very special presentation yesterday for LSU Chancellor Mark Emmert and for Georgia Tech President Wayne Clough. Here's Steve Robinson of Chick-fil-A.
Thank you, Ron. Our founder and chairman, Truett Cathy, started giving scholarships to the employees of Chick-fil-A restaurants over 25 years ago, and that total has now grown to over $15 million. Tonight he's here to make a contribution to both the universities on behalf of their General Scholarship Fund. Truett?
Good. Chick-fil-A is proud to present to you a check in the amount of $25,000 that will go in the general fund to help in your scholarship program.
Well, Truett, thank you very much. And on behalf of Louisiana State University and all of our students, let me tell you how pleased we are with the support that Chick-fil-A has provided to the student body and also to this wonderful event, the Peach Bowl in the city of Atlanta. Thank you very much.
Good. And Chick-fil-A is proud to present to you a check in the amount of $25,000 to go in your general fund, the scholarship program.
Truett, we thank you very much, and our students thank you. We appreciate your support of this great event, the Peach Bowl, and all the support you give to Georgia Tech and to Atlanta.
Thank you.
Back to you, Ron. Thank you.
All righty. Thanks very much. And again, a thanks and congratulations to Chick-fil-A.
Ron, Truett Cathy started his first restaurant in South Atlanta in 1946. He now has 950 restaurants. They close on Sunday. He wants his employees to go to church. A good man, Truett Cathy.
And you can hear the amount of money that over the years they have given to scholarship programs. Very impressive. Our situation with the ball game. Third down and 17. Zings this one incomplete. Myers is who he wanted.
With 46 seconds to go, Ron, you may take a chance here. We'll see what Nick Saban's going to do. Nope, he decided to punt.
going back deep, but I'm surprised they're even doing that.
Yeah, the way the offense has gone, it's probably a good decision to punt the football. They don't look like an offense with a lot of confidence.
Hangs this one up. Rhino runs away from it, hits at the 2, and goes into the end zone. What have you seen any of the Ask Adrian reports? You won't want to miss this feature at halftime. The folks logging on to ESPN.com have really sent him through his paces this year. So stay tuned during the Dodge Different Halftime Report for the best of Ask Adrian.
Looney Tunes music. Well, he did it all, didn't he?
Yeah, he
talked to
did.
dogs, cats, mice, walked on the dome.
Georgia Tech's going to just keep this one on the ground, and Burns will be tackled by Ryan Clark.
The good thing for both these teams is Georgia Tech knows they made a lot of mistakes, a lot of turnovers. Should be ahead a lot more than they are. LSU still alive in this football game. Nick Saban knows he's got to deal with Greg Gathers at halftime and try to figure out offensively how to get on track on first down.
10 seconds, 9 seconds. Godsey going to be hit and sacked back at the 12. Lavalley, first time that they have sacked him in this ball game, and we are at halftime. So the score at halftime, Georgia Tech 14 and LSU 3. Now with the Dodge Different Halftime Report, here's Chris Fowler and Rodney Gilmore.
Ron, Mike, thank you. We've certainly seen George Godsey play a lot better, not terribly sharp, but that Jackets defense, as you mentioned before the game, pass protection for Booty the key, and he's not getting it at all.
It's unbelievable that they really haven't done anything to address that problem. Somehow, some way, Nick Saban has got to get another back or a tight end or somebody over there to help that situation, because Booty just can't play on his back. It's just not going to work.
And you got a feeling that Georgia Tech's offense is going to get things going even more in the second half. It's going to be a tough road for LSU to get back in this. Coming up on our Dodge Different Halftime Report, we'll have some highlights of games. UCLA and Wisconsin were down to the final couple of minutes in El Paso. And at the Liberty Bowl, another close game. It's ahead.
NHL Tonight, Tuesday through Saturday on ESPN2.
With its legendary four-wheel drive capability, Jeep Grand Cherokee can go where no ordinary 4x4 can. This is the season to visit your local Jeep dealer.
Nestled within the ground floor of St. Sophie's Medical Center is the emergency room. At the ER, they can reattach a severed limb or resuscitate a flatliner in no time. But should you need the healing hands of the folks at the ER, pull out your Discover card. Because there's only one thing better than having St. Sophie's save your life.
Clear!
And that's getting back cash for them to do it.
Some people like getting cash. The Discover card with cash back bonus to the slightly smarter consumer.
This halftime report is presented by the makers of the all-new Dodge Caravan. Dodge. Different.
As you can probably tell, Nick Saban and LSU down to Georgia Tech at halftime. Welcome back. Earlier at the AXA Liberty Bowl, Colorado State took on Louisville. Now, the Rams motivated all year long by the chance to win the conference, get back, and redeem themselves after losing in this Liberty Bowl game last year to Southern Mississippi. Louisville so excited about making the short trip to Memphis, they composed a rap. But Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, the guys from Outkast, anybody else you want to name, really nothing to worry about here. As you might tell, this is the Liberty Bell rap.
Hell yeah! Let's go. Win the Liberty Bowl. It's crunch time. We crunch down. Bring on the dice, get a touchdown. We in the Liberty Bowl. Are we gonna win this? Hell yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, Dave Ragone showing the mobility, flutters it out there. Damian Dorsey hauls it in, 58-yard touchdown in the first quarter. Louisville had a 7-3 lead. It was tied at 10 in the second quarter when Frank Rice for the Rams gets the handoff on the reverse, weaves his way. Nice block by the quarterback, Matt Newton, who just gets it away out there. 16 yards. They missed the point. 16-10 Rams. Ragone to Deion Branch. Gets open in the end zone. The lead is cut to 2, 19-17 early fourth quarter, but the Rams would salt it away. They get a field goal. Then they get the power running of Cecil Sapp as they chew up the clock. Sapp, the Miami native, career-high 160 yards. C.W. Hurst kicks 3 field goals, and the Rams do get that Liberty Bell, redeeming the loss last year to Southern Miss. 22-17, they reached that 10-win plateau, Rodney.
And the Colorado State defense was huge in the fourth quarter. Larry Kirk called blitzes, didn't go to the prevent defense, and that allowed them to really nail down the Louisville passing attack. It was great calling in the second half.
And you're right, there's a big speed deficit. The Cardinals, with all those speedy wide receivers, the Rams do a great job on defense, and they get that 10-win season. In the Sun Bowl, UCLA and Wisconsin, old foes from the Rose Bowl, hook up. And this, of course, was billed as the matchup between Freddie Mitchell of UCLA and Jamar Fletcher of Wisconsin, the winner of the Thorpe Award as the top defensive back. Did not disappoint. Penalty, though, before the game, Jamar Fletcher was shoved by 3 UCLA players. They were assessed 15 yards before the kickoff. In the first quarter, Bruins would fall behind before Mitchell beats Fletcher and then turns around and taunts him here.
Yeah, Fletcher tried to keep him outside. There moved inside on him, went in motion, and just beat him. Watch this. He'll just, oh, they're going after it. Good time.
A little slapping going on there. Mitchell, though, would have 9 catches for 180 yards, and then Chris Chambers would make a play of his own. Dancing near the end line there, catches the Bollinger pass. The Badgers back within 6. And then Michael Bennett, who had a big ball game, gets the handoff, showing why he is considering coming out in the NFL draft. 21-20 Badgers after the extra point. Then Scott McEwen had to come in for pause, and he throws the pick right there to Fletcher on the deflection. This guy made a pick to seal a Rose Bowl a couple of years ago. He might have given up 9 catches to Mitchell, was the MVP, but Fletcher has the last word, and the bath goes to Alvarez there.
Well, you have to question UCLA late in the ball game, chance to get a first down on a key fourth down. They didn't go to Freddie Mitchell, didn't go to Foster, didn't go to Brian Polly-Dixon, and they didn't pick up the first down. Surprise, surprise, that really hurt them.
They were also hurt by the fact that Paws got knocked out of the game. Wisconsin's defense did a great job holding the UCLA to just a field goal in the second half. Well, coming into today, we had talked about how high-scoring the bowls have been. An amazing scene with the points being piled up, and also how well the underdogs were doing. This continues a trend of the last couple of years. You can see the last year, 13 underdogs won bowl games, only 10 favorites won. But check it out now. 9 of the 12 bowls played so far won by the underdogs.
Yeah, the underdogs are doing well. I think there are a couple of reasons for this. You know, one, you start looking at the unfamiliarity with the players and the other team from the other conference. It kind of evens the playing field. And speaking of an even playing field, when you're playing at a neutral site, that also makes it even. So I think those are 2 of the reasons why we're seeing the underdogs do well.
We haven't seen a lot of monumental upsets in bowl games, but just the fact that the underdogs are proving the experts wrong is an interesting trend. But almost daily, Michael Vick is making news, and not because his Hokies are set to take on Clemson in the Gator Bowl, but because Vick keeps getting asked again and again about his status for the draft next year. Today, in an interview, he tried to dispel all that.
I just wanted to say the question that I asked yesterday in reference to what y'all asked me, it's not even an issue anymore. I just didn't want that to be a distraction. And, as far as I know, everything was still the same about me staying in school, And, from this point on, I have no further comments about that.
Well, I think Michael's always truthful as he can be. I think when you're talking about big things, and I think different things come up from day to day, and you think differently from day to day. And I think in my discussion with Mike, I think what's important is that you get your mind clear, you focus in on the game, and play as well as you can.
Well, you're a lawyer. In reference to the question before the issue, I have no comment. I mean, he's still not saying whether he's staying or going, but the question as they take on Clemson is, How well can he play? Will it be a distraction? He's missed 2.5 games this season for injuries. Now the long layoff before a bowl game.
I think he's chomping at the bit to play, so I think he's going to be okay when he gets back on the field. I think as far as the NFL goes, doesn't it sound like somebody got to Michael and said, hey, Mike, you can change your mind. Do whatever you want later. Just don't distract us from this ball game. I think that's what's going on here, and I think he's going to settle in and be fine when the ball game comes around.
That may be. He may be talented enough to overcome this, and he may have the kind of performance that he had in last year's bowl game against Florida State, but I have to think that it's weighing on his mind just a little bit. This has not been the kind of season on the field that Michael Vick has hoped for. We will come back. The best of Ask Adrian is still ahead at halftime. Jermaine Hatch making a run for the Jackets. They have the 14-3 lead over the Bayou Bengals at the break.
Guess what the interior of the all-new Dodge Caravan is as quiet as? Dodge Grand Caravan, the best minivan ever. Different.
Do I look like Puffy?
There are people out there who want you dead.
On January 12th, make the switch.
There's not gonna be any Rodney Kings going on.
See the sights.
What is up with your eyes?
And get ready for the ride of your life.
How you doing, sisters? It's your first time on a train. It's the first time for everything.
Double Date, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, January 12th.
The capital of the New South, Atlanta has recognized its dream of becoming the sports capital of the world in a decade that began with World Series games, hit a new high with the Centennial Olympic Games, and has just kept growing.
Taking advantage of the Olympic legacy, the Atlanta Braves transformed Olympic Stadium into Turner Field, the permanent home of baseball's Team of the 90s, as well as the 2000 All-Star Game. The Georgia Dome is not only the home of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, but is also where the NFL's Atlanta Falcons call home. It has hosted 2 Super Bowls in the past 6 years, the 2000 SEC Men's Basketball Tournament, and annually plays host to the SEC Football Championship. The 2001 ACC Men's Basketball Tournament and the 2002 and 2007 NCAA Men's Final Four and the 2003 Women's Final Four will continue to show off the Dome's versatility. Also calling Atlanta home, the NBA's Atlanta Hawks and the NHL's Atlanta Thrashers share the newly constructed state-of-the-art Phillips Arena. Motorsports also play a key role in Atlanta's sports scene, recently hosting the season-ending NASCAR race, the Napa 500 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. The 870-acre speedway provides an economic impact of nearly $500 million a year. Atlanta also plays host every 4th of July to the Peachtree Road Race. More than 500 runners from around the world make it the world's largest 10K road race. The city is also known for its many world-class golf facilities, making it an attractive setting every year for the PGA and senior PGA events, including the PGA's Bell South Classic and the Chick-fil-A Charity Championship. The LPGA Tour stopped for Georgia. In November, Atlanta hosted the PGA Tour Championship, and in 2001 will host the PGA Championship. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets call Atlanta home as well, providing the finest competition the ACC has to offer. Throughout the year, you'll find numerous events at the Georgia Tech Aquatic Center, the Georgia International Horse Park, and the $22 million Stone Mountain Park Tennis Center. With winning teams and a decade of success that included the 1996 Olympic Games, Atlanta has earned its title as a sports mecca.
A fun can begin.
Showtime original pictures for all ages. Award-winning stories the whole family can enjoy with top Hollywood stars, directors, and writers. Share the adventure. Share the fun. Showtime original pictures for all ages. The place where imagination knows no age. Only on Showtime.
Part of the Showtime Unlimited package. Up to 10 channels for only $10.99 a month.
The FBI's top cop is on a stakeout.
I've gone undercover as Big Mama.
Hi, Big Mama.
Damn, you fine.
Martin Lawrence
I forgot my keys.
is living extra large.
Mama.
Yeah,
What's that?
that's just my flashlight.
Big Mama's house.
You know, it takes a lot of hard work, guts, and determination to play this sport. It takes commitment.
It takes a competitive spirit.
It takes teamwork.
It takes leadership.
NCAA football is a tradition.
It's a family affair.
NCAA football. Pass it on.
And welcome back to the Dodge Different Halftime Report. The nightcap of our triple header today is a great one, perhaps the best matchup before New Year's Day, Texas and Oregon. The Longhorns, all that speed, all those weapons, perhaps a preseason top 3 or 4 team next year. But first, they have a very tough Oregon team to deal with. We go to our crew in San Diego. Mike Tirico, what do you have for us out there in this good matchup?
Well, as usual, Chris, we have the best pre-New Year's Day bowl game once again here in the Holiday Bowl. And we have Chris Sims, who's really been one of the focal points of this latter and early college football season. We spent a lot of time around Chris this week, and I have to tell you, for a young man who's a true sophomore, he is best equipped to handle all the pressure, being the son of Phil Sims, being the high school offensive player of the year coming out and heading to Texas, and being the Texas quarterback in the middle of a QB controversy for the last couple of seasons. And does he have weapons that you'll see on display tonight? A triple threat that many schools can't match. Hodges Mitchell, a senior runner, over 1,000 for the second straight year. B.J. Johnson and Roy Williams, who rewrote the freshman record book for wide receivers at Texas. How good is Williams? Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator at Oregon, said Roy Williams, who wears number 4, well, number 4 is Randy Moss. That's who they have to try to stop tonight. Now, Dr. Jerry Punch, being the underdogs in this game like Oregon is nothing new. A very familiar role for the Ducks, the co-champs of the Pac-10.
Exactly, Michael. Oregon head coach Mike Bellotti has made a living beating the odds over the years. In fact, after losing 14 starters from a year ago, all his Ducks said this year was soar to a 9-2 record and a Pac-10 Conference co-championship with impressive wins over USC, UCLA, and Washington. Now, as Mike Bellotti leads his Ducks in the Qualcomm Stadium, he realized that it wasn't easy. In fact, they trailed late in the fourth quarter of their final 4 football games before turning it over to their junior quarterback, Joey the General Harrington, who brought them back with some late heroics. So they realized tonight that Mike Bellotti will have to somehow contain those 3 receivers that Mike talked about, those 3 fabulous freshmen that Texas has. Be patient with his own offense, get this game into the fourth quarter, and then turn loose their own quarterback, now known in Eugene as Captain Comeback. And maybe once again, Mike Bellotti and the Ducks can beat the odds. And tonight, the Longhorns here in the Culligan Holiday Bowl. Chris?
All right, Doc, thank you. Joey the General, I hadn't heard that before, but Harrington's going to have to hope for some offensive balance. Texas with Hampton and Rogers, the 2 stud tackles, very tough to run on inside. But if he does get some time and a little running game, you like the matchups on the edge for the Ducks, just like the Longhorns have an edge there.
I think you're right. You know, we've talked about the speed of Texas, but Oregon has some speed of its own. Their wide receivers can get it done. Marshawn Tucker, Keenan Howard, big play receivers. Yeah, they may be a little bit small, but they're quick. They can beat the press coverage, and if you give them an opportunity to catch the ball, they will make the play. Now, Tucker's a little bit bigger. Howery is the quicker, smaller guy. He's the guy who probably they'll look for early in the ball game. He kind of gets into formations inside, gets set up, working against the 3rd defensive back, and makes bigger plays.
A couple of factors here. You follow Oregon closely. They're almost unbeatable at Autzen Stadium. They were unbeaten there this year, but away from home, they cannot seem to muster the same kind of defensive intensity. Their yards allowed, their points allowed way up on the road. You have to wonder how they're going to fare in a neutral setting.
Well, they're a very emotional team. They play on emotion, and so they will try and bring that into the ball game. Look for them to try to do something early to create that environment, to get that intensity going, so their defense will play aggressive. I expect them to take some shots early and Texas to try to respond by maybe throwing for a big play early.
You heard Jerry say the plan is to get the game close in the fourth quarter, but if it gets to the fourth quarter, big edge, I think Stockton over Franco field goal kicking. Texas has a decided advantage. Franco has been very inconsistent in that department. Well, Joe Burns getting loose for the Jackets. They have a 14-3 lead over LSU at the break. The second half is coming up shortly.
How much would you pay for these leather boots?
Get a free Cows and Sports calendar containing $30 worth of food. Visit ChickFilAPeachBowl.com by midnight tonight.
It opens automatically. It reverses automatically when it encounters an obstacle. It closes automatically. Who has the only power hatch offered in a minivan? It's automatic. Dodge Grand Caravan, the best minivan ever. The all-new Dodge Caravan. Different.
Well, on New Year's morning, we hope you'll set the alarm, shake off the cobwebs, and join us for a special 90-minute bowl edition of College Game Day from South Beach in Miami Beach, presented by Outback. Special start time on Monday, 9:30 Eastern Time. We go 90 minutes, leading right up into the Capital One Bowl Week continuation with the Outback Bowl. The Gamecocks
back and come back after him. So the adjustments, I'm looking forward to the adjustments that they do with Greg Gathers, and I believe you'll see Rohan Davey here in the second half.
Well, the big fella's up and loosening on the sideline, so time will tell. Monge to kick it off. Davis and Devery Henderson, the two deep men for the Tigers. Very high, and it's going to be Davis. Breaks 20, 25, out for the 30. 26 yards on the return, and Adrian, let's check with you on the sideline.
Ron, the word out of the LSU Bayou Bengal locker room is this. The first half represents a whole lot of the LSU season so far. They believe in Josh Booty, but he's working too hard, and he's not getting enough production out of his offense. Rohan Davey is a possibility if Booty doesn't get it done in the first or second period. Well, here he is right now.
Well, the crowd in the end zone to the south agrees with the move, I can tell you. They got up and gave a standing ovation. They go with the running play. And it'll be close to 5 yards on the carry by Tofield. Nick Rogers holding on to him.
Well, you're looking for a spark as a head coach and the assistants. When you get in the locker room at halftime, they talked about you don't want to blame all this on Josh Booty, but you need a spark. You need somebody to come in and get this team to play right now. So you make the change, bring Rohan Davey in. We saw what he did against Tennessee on one ankle. He played with a hurt ankle and led the LSU Tigers to a win over Tennessee in overtime.
Georgia Tech showing blitz with the safeties. They come up tight, play action. Dumps this one off. There's Tommy Banks. 40 to the 45, and the initial first down of the second half will go to the LSU Tigers.
And another adjustment you see, Brandon Winey, the number 68, who was hurt. You talked about it in the first half. He has now come in and tackled. So these are the adjustments they're making. They start Rohan Davey, they bring Brandon Winey in, say, you got to handle Greg Gathers.
We'll show you in just a moment. Winey broke a bone in his thumb, and on the punch of a pass block, it really, really hurts him. Blitz, quick pass, got the hot route complete to Reed. Almost broke it free, takes it across midfield and down to the 40, good for 16 yards. Myers defensively.
A check off at the line of scrimmage. We talked about how Georgia Tech was disguising things in the first half. All of a sudden, now you get this big cushion out here, and Rohan Davey checks off and gets the ball to Josh Reed against the blitz. Good call by Rohan Davey.
See that cast on Wani's hand? It is the auricular bone right there in that thumb, the one that is broken. You're going to go with a running play. Tofield running very, very hard. I was interested in talking. You said you were well aware of this, but Jack Marucci, the trainer, talked about once they got him bandaged up, then you have to go to the officials. He said it's mandatory in the SEC that they also have to do paperwork and turn it into the league office after that happens to see what everybody is doing, and if people are coming up with casts that don't need to be there and use it as a weapon.
Yeah, there'll be a soft cast, and the officials will come in the locker room and test check out every cast that you have, and they'll okay them.
Commissioner Kramer of the Southeastern Conference on hand watching the Tigers today. They creep up again, go with a running play in the backfield, hit Tofield. As soon as he got the ball, Key Fox had already come across the line of scrimmage.
It came from the outside and was not blocked, number 54. Again, they timed this one up. You see him come off the corner. Now he's making the tackle on Tofield before he gets a chance to get anything done.
Well, Georgia Tech causing the same thing that happened in the first half, making LSU have a lousy first down and a not real good second down.
And put him in third and 5 or more.
Yeah. Davey gets his pass, has it complete. That's a nice throw to Gerald Myers.
And this is the spark that Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher wanted out of their backup quarterback, Rohan Davey. He's a captain. Adrian talked about he's very, very well liked by this football team. Finally healthy. Played in 4 games. Started versus Tennessee and Florida. Gutsy performance against Tennessee.
Chris Young got turned around on that. If he just turned around, he could have put a hand up and knocked it down. But a real nice touch by Davey. 3 of 3, 39 yards. Georgia Tech creeping him up. That quick pass again. Pass this one complete to Reed. Adrian Karsten, let's check with you on the sideline.
It was that man, number 25, Josh Reed, who finally said after UAB and then the game and then the Tennessee win that you've got to buy into Josh Booty. Okay, he didn't win the game against Tennessee, but Rohan is hurt. So we've got to get behind someone. Ron, very honestly, there are a lot of guys on this team who wanted Rohan to be the starter. On the other hand, there are a lot of guys who wanted Josh to be the starter. Finally, Booty became the starter, but there comes a point when the coach has more to say than even Josh Reed, who made that big catch there.
Adrian, they got a 1st and goal. The ball just outside the 7-yard line. 2 tight ends, I formation, and they go with a run. Tofield inside the 5, up the 4, maybe the 3. Darrell Smith comes up to make the tackle. Georgia Tech, Rogers with 5 tackles in the first half. Key Fox now with 5 in the game, all of them solo. And Myers with 3. All of his are solo.
Again, it's not all Josh Booty because they didn't block anybody in the first half. So I don't mean to, and I don't want anybody to say that Josh Booty's the reason LSU didn't perform in the first half. They didn't perform because their offensive line didn't perform.
Again, 2 tight end formation. Power I set. Edwards, the 3rd tight end. He is lined up in a wing. Play action. Wide open is Banks, and he throws it. Touchdown, Tommy Banks. And here come the Tigers back. Josh Booty comes out as the holder.
What you want when you insert your second quarterback, you wanted him to be able to pick up the level of play of every player on your football team. And he did that. Rohan Davey. Everybody played a little bit better, and the addition of Brandon Winey helped him.
Good pass. Corbello's kick is up, and he's no good. He yanked that thing to the left. So a missed extra point. 10:59 left in the 3rd quarter. Quiets the crowd just a little bit, but they're still cheering. And as we take a break, it is Rohan Davey who comes on and is perfect. Throws to Banks for the touchdown. We'll be right back.
Don't just dream.
Cows and Sports calendar containing $30 worth of food. Visit ChickFilAPeachBowl.com by midnight tonight.
Did you ever see that movie, You've Got Mail? Where this guy and girl fall in love emailing each other a bunch of times? Anyway, they finally meet face to face, and there's this big romantic kiss. Do you know the movie I'm talking about? Did you ever see that one? Well, this guy didn't. Ford F-Series Super Duty. Built Ford tough.
Rohan Davey on the phone upstairs to Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator. You look at Booty on the sideline, and it's tough, but like Mike said, it was not all of Booty in the first half, but I'll tell you, Rohan not only came in with a lot of poise, Mike, he threw a couple of touch passes that were absolutely perfect.
I like the way he's talking to his coach, though. He's showing emotion. I mean, he's bought into this game now. Now the defense and special teams has to raise their level for LSU.
These LSU fans are really making some noise right now. This kick 3 yards deep in the end zone is going to be returned by Campbell. And Campbell runs into his own man, and then it's going to be tackled at the 15.
And they didn't get back to their average start at 20.5 yards. So the red line, they did not make it back to the red line.
LSU with a special teams player shaken up and is hobbling off the field at the 8-yard line.
Now George Godsey's got to answer the touchdown by Rohan Davey.
So let's see if Georgia Tech can put together a perfect second half as far as no turnovers. 4 turnovers in the first half.
And remember, they ran for 150 yards rushing, so they opened up LSU's defense to the run game.
They're going to run again. They pull the guard, hit behind the line of scrimmage. Falk is right there to stuff that one. And right now, Old Mo is wearing purple and gold.
Well, how many times do you see it? A guy that's well-liked on your football team comes off the bench and leads your team, and all of a sudden, everybody jumps on his bandwagon.
Falk now the leader in the ballgame in tackles with 8, 4 solo, and he also has a fumble recovery. Second down, 12. Godsey keeps it on the ground. Burns will take it across the 15, stopped at the 16. And I mean the LSU cheering sections who are right. They are roaring with every step that the Tigers take. And so far, every step they've taken in the second half has been the correct one.
Now, defensively, they're running better. They're running to the ball better.
Third down. Line to make. He's out at the 26. 3 of 6 tonight in third down conversions for the Jackets. Godsey under pressure, throws the ball too high. Nate Curry, the intended receiver.
That's what you want out of that drive. LSU's defense now, special teams has a chance to take over.
Looks like Jeremy Lawrence, the strong side linebacker, was shaken up on the play. They're helping him off. Trev Falk stuck around to help his teammate.
Dominic Davis is a long ball threat here catching this punt.
Van Dyke stands to punt. His third to kick. The neck putt average 43.6, so we'll chart it for you.
Check that red line out, see if Dominic Davis can get by it.
Driving spiral. Davis all the way back to the 26-yard line. Breaks by 2 tacklers, and he's going to take it out over the 37, maybe the 38. Kerry Watkins makes the tackle. 46 on the kick, 11 on the return, a net of 35. So we'll take a break. 9:15 left in the third. Tigers making a roar.
Now through Monday, Zales is having an after-Christmas clearance sale where you can get up to 60% off and more on a great selection of jewelry, so you can get what you really want. Now through Monday at Zales stores nationwide or shop online at Zales.com.
You know the Fight Club, right? Where this group of guys get together in some warehouse or basement or whatever, and they just get beaten up. Then go to work the next day, scraped and scarred and wearing bruises like badges of honor. Now there's a hobby that separates the men from the boys. The new Ford Ranger Edge. Built Ford tough.
A battle of big play quarterbacks as Oregon's Joey Harrington faces the Longhorn duo of Sims and Applewhite. Texas versus Oregon, December 29th at 8:30 on ESPN.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2000 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is brought to you by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. And by Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter. Move your money. Get well connected. And by Bex, a beer apart. Rohan Davey, 5 of 5, 57 yards and a touchdown on the first drive, and he comes back out with the offense again.
Ron, in the game we had at Tennessee, Josh Reed, a converted tailback, number 25, was a big receiver for Rohan Davey.
Reed, 2 catches for 31. Zooms this one complete to the man we were just talking about, and the tackle is made by Clark.
Yeah, when you have a favorite receiver, you like to go to him, and he has confidence in Josh Reed. Josh Reed's 5'11", 200 pounds. 65 catches this year, second in school history with 10 touchdown receptions. And I like what they're doing on first down. They're throwing on first down. They've got a good mix here so far in the second half.
2nd and 4. Pitch goes back to Davis. Turns the corner. Has the first down across midfield. Put a head down and ran over Jeremy Myers, much to the delight of his teammates right there on the sideline. Michael Lilly with an outstanding block.
Here's what you like to see if you're a coach. You like to see your bench being into the football game. This bench of LSU is excited. I mean, they're all in this football game. The fans are in this football game. These guys aren't lollygagging around. They're watching intently, and they're pulling for their teammates.
That's a gain of 8 yards. That's the longest run from scrimmage since back in the first quarter for the Tigers. Safeties creep up. Pressure, hit, ball is loose, and picked up by Davis. And now it's being whistled down as an incomplete pass.
Greg Gathers again. You know, every time he makes a hit on the LSU quarterback, he's making a statement. How do you like me now? Am I too small? He is playing with a motor in this football game. Number 55. Brandon Winey tries to cut him. See, that's a short pass game. That's Rohan Davey's fault. That's a short pass. He needs to get it off. He's trying to pump him to go, but he doesn't have time enough to do that.
Gathers 4 tackles, 3 hurries. So it's a 2nd down and 10. Here comes the blitz off the corner. They go straight ahead with Davis, and he will go inside the 45 to the 44. Wimbush, the inside linebacker, on the tackle.
When you can't control a guy like Greg Gathers, then you have to figure a way in play calling with screens, delays, draws, quick things that will frustrate him a little bit and let you chop Greg Gathers a little bit. So look for LSU maybe to screen him a little bit here in the second half.
Gathers has been moved into tackle on this play rather than at that defensive end spot. Shotgun formation on 3rd and 6. Got a man open, threw it too high to Reed. Ooh, buddy. And he had him.
He had the first down.
He really had the first down, plus about 8 or 9 more yards. First bad pass that he's really thrown as far as being off the mark.
Still should have been caught, though, but it was high.
Rhino, the deep man, 8 punts for LSU tonight. Donnie Jones, been a very, very busy guy. High. Spiral will not turn over. Caught by Rhino. No fair catch, and he's going to get a couple of yards on the return as Damian James is there on the special teams to make the tackle. 28 on the punt, 3 on the return.
Georgia Tech needs to go back to Burns. Joe Burns, the tailback, a little bit. Hatch came on late in the first quarter, second quarter, but their running game was very effective in the first half with Burns.
Burns, the lone setback. Godsey to throw. Up the far sideline. Got a man, and it's intercepted. Right there is Clark.
Well, Georgia Tech just keeps leading LSU back into this football game. Bad decision here by George Godsey. Trying to get the ball to Kelly Campbell. Yeah, hung it up, and Ryan Clark, the free safety to Phil Almation, the defensive coordinator, loves. He just breaks on the football, goes high for the interception, picks it off.
Came a long way, Mike.
He really did. He's got great range. You need a center fielder. The one thing LSU talked about, they're strong in the middle. You know, the baseball, if you have a good catcher, pitcher, and center fielder, well, they got a good middle guard, good linebackers, and a good free safety in Ryan Clark.
5 turnovers for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Counter play. Tokyo breaks off a tackle, breaks off another, has 5, 6, 7, but it may be a 9-yard gain in the play because of the second effort.
Georgia Tech is the team walking around now. LSU is putting it to them. This is where you just think about George Godsey. He's had Ralph Friedgen for the last couple of seasons to talk to. They're one coach short today, Georgia Tech, because of Ralph Friedgen leaving for Maryland.
Second down and very short for the Tigers. And they go with the running play, make sure they pick up the first down, and they do. And let's check on the sideline. Speaking of Ralph, who's with Adrian?
Ron Warner, probably one of the most talked about coaches in college football right now, told me last night with all his heart he would love to coach this game. Ralph, bittersweet moment for you.
Yes, it is. Right now I'm just pulling for Georgia Tech and hope we hang in there and win this thing.
That last interception, Coach, you were rather emotional.
Well, we haven't done that all year, and that's the thing you can't do is beat ourselves. We've been a very efficient team, and you know, that's the difference in this game right now, that we've turned it over. We've moved the ball, and I think Billy's done a great job of mixing formations and keeping people off balance, but you can't stop yourself when you turn the ball over.
Bill O'Brien has done a phenomenal job, Coach, but I need to ask you honestly, were you on that sideline right now? What adjustment would you make?
I tell them to stop turning the ball over. You know, I don't know how much you can do to control that. I mean, you got to take care of the football. It's a very precious thing, and you know, the thing that LSU LSU is doing right now is they're pressing them up and playing man-to-man. And George just went for a one-on-one situation. He just hung it up a little bit too much, and the free safety made a great play.
Ron, less and less these days in college football do you see a man go back to his alma mater to coach. A Maryland man has gone home to coach the Terrapins. Coach, thank you very much for taking time. Ron, we're all on the edges of our seat up here.
Turnover, and the fumble recovered by Key Fox. And Tofield is arguing that he was down, that the fumble came after the play. A look at Key Fox on the sideline. Was he down? Yes. So Georgia Tech gets it back, and you hear the boo. The crowd just saw it here on the screens, and the officials didn't get to look at the replay, but they heard that reaction. Blitz right up the middle, maybe 1 yard of the running play. Dawson comes through to hit Burns.
Look at this fumble by Tofield. Looks like he was hitting the turf. Yep.
Yeah, his knee was down.
That's yesterday's news, though. You got to move on.
Georgia Tech, 2 tight ends. This time they go to the short side of the field. Tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a couple on the play as Davis makes the tackle, and there's a flag down. Holding Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech just out of sync right now on offense.
But obviously the best thing that happened to them is the recovered fumble that Key Fox got just a moment ago. But beyond that, Mike, they haven't had a lot of good things happen to them in the third quarter.
No, and Bill O'Brien just searching for something now. He had everything in the first half at his disposal. Now he's just searching for something to find to go to. LSU blitzing a lot here in the second half.
Gotcha. Gets it away, and the ball's dropped. Hit him right in the hands. Nate Curry.
I think the receivers have had a hard time on this turf also today. They seems like just haven't made plays. This ball is out. You just can't get both hands extended. Not on that play, but several plays they're trying to come back for the ball, and it seem like they get their feet stuck in the turf.
5 drops against the Yellow Jackets. As you look at the numbers,
the big one is 2 interceptions.
From the shotgun, good protection this time. Dumps it right over the middle. This is Burns. 25 out to the 28. It'll be enough for the Georgia Tech first down. And now here come late flags in. Beg your pardon, that's the front end of the stick because they had third down and a distance, 21 yards to get the first. But now let's see what the late markers that came in are about.
The NCAA run assigns different crews to the bowl games so that you get a neutral crew. This is from Conference USA.
Lionel Thomas, the strong safety, is
Dead
injured.
ball, personal foul on the offense. After the play, after distance to the goal, the 4th down.
Looked like Brent Key around after the whistle. There's the block.
And that's a post-play foul, so the play is over. It now is 4th down, and the penalty goes half the distance to the goal line. Capital One Bowl Week continues tomorrow on ESPN with the Sylvania Alamo Bowl at 8 o'clock Eastern. Quarterback Eric Crouch leads number 8 Nebraska against running back Damian Anderson and the number 19 Northwestern Wildcats. For more, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football on the internet. Think Adrian will watch that?
I think a lot of people will watch that. That'll be a highly rated game.
I think it'll be a fun football game.
Northwestern has had a great year. Randy Walker and the staff, they get time to get people healthy, and I think they'll play with Nebraska.
I do, too. A lot of different names mentioned for Coach of the Year, but Walker certainly had to be given a lot of consideration, as well as 3 or 4 other coaches. Here's the boot. Line drive. This is a beauty. Davis from the 42-yard line of LSU. And he's going to have about 5 yards on the return as Kerry Watkins is downfield to make the tackle. So it's 44 on the punt and 5 on the return. We'll take a timeout. 3:43 remaining. Georgia Tech 14-9.
Where can you see Bruce, Michelle, Pierce, and Nicholas and get a great bonus? Only on Showtime Unlimited with 10 channels for only $10.99. Call now to order the latest Hollywood movies and more. You'll get 6 channels of Showtime and 2 of the movie channel, plus 2 bonus channels, Flicks and Sundance channel. It's a great value. 10 channels for only $10.99. Call and order Showtime Unlimited now.
Hey, want to do something fun with your TV? Take your TV to the movies with 4 great commercial-free movie packages from Dish Network. You and your TV can see a movie anytime, featuring HBO The Works. Big titles, big stars, big screen entertainment right in your home. Individual packages start at just $10.99 a month, or get all 4 movie packages for only $35.99 a month. Up to 28 commercial-free movie channels from Dish Network. Call 1-800-333-DISH and get extra pop to your TV.
There's only one place to go for the most complete NFL pregame coverage anywhere. Join Chris.
Oh, my God, it might make it.
He is being forced to live by a separate set of rules.
More
teams seem to get beat up there on that AstroTurf.
Sterling.
If they don't run the ball with commitment today, then this is who you are.
And Stewart.
It's about as black and blue as Baryshnikov's tight.
Everything you need to know right up until kickoff from the guys who know it best. ESPN Sunday NFL Countdown. Sundays 11 Eastern on ESPN.
The score 14-9, Georgia Tech. And a reminder, tonight's Morgan Stanley Dean Witter well-connected storyline for LSU. Booty in the first half, 8 of 19, 110 yards. Then Davey in the second half, 7 of 9, 63 yards and a touchdown. Turnovers, LSU with a crucial one on their last drive, 5 against Tech. And rushing yardage, now LSU with 48.
And Ron, George O'Leary during that timeout was lighting up his offense. He was getting into their face, and he knows he's lost a veteran coach in Ralph Friedgen, and he's trying to pick up that role. Now, he bristled a little bit this week when people asked him about the loss of Ralph Friedgen, because you're a staff, so you figure one guy's not going to make that big of an effect. So he's trying to get his attention of his team.
Davey, play action, and as they roll the pocket, he's got a man open deep, his tight end, and didn't have time to get it off to him. Davey going to scramble to the 45-yard line. Domingo over the middle, who is not the fastest of the tight ends, had gotten himself free.
This is the first time since the Tennessee game that Rohan Davey has been healthy. He's thrown 8 touchdown passes, only 1 interception. See the tight end out there? But he didn't have time. He made the right decision to pick up as many yards as he can, scrambling with the football.
Key Fox made the tackle. Boy, you could see the explosion. That young man is so quick. Fox is going to be a great football player. Right up the middle, big opening. Flag is down. Tofield will have the first down plus a lot of yardage. Fox again on the stop.
Looked like movement on LSU.
Thursday, January the 11th on ESPN, it's the 2001 ESPY Award nomination special at 10 Eastern. Among the 34 awards to be given out at this year's ceremony, we'll announce the nominees for Male and Female Athletes of the Year, College and Pro Teams of the Year, Comeback and Breakthrough Athletes of the Year, as the best in sports get ready to descend on Las Vegas for the ESPYs in February.
I want to go to the ESPYs one of these years. I know you're busy with basketball.
It's always on Monday, and we have a big Monday game every year.
I'm waiting for an
blitz is on, ball is hit, and knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Who else? Key Fox. Good heavens, this young man is making a statement as far as next year.
Making some busts at the line of scrimmage, and that's what I keep watching Rodney Reed. He's talking to Brandon Tofield. I think Reed went outside. Tofield had to go inside. They both went outside the block, and Key Fox comes inside. Watch this. Now, see, it's a complete bust at the line of scrimmage. What you have to do at the line of scrimmage collectively as a unit is knows what they're doing on defense.
Third down. They need to take it to the Georgia Tech 43-yard line. 2:39 remaining, third quarter. Right over the middle, got it complete for the first down at the 34 to Josh Reed. Reed did not have a catch in the first half. He has 5 in the third quarter.
There's a chemistry between Reed and Davey, and they got a feel for each other. And Rohan Davey drills this football into Josh Reed.
Well, you're right. Kids, all of a sudden, they have a good sense about each other as far as timing, the way they break off their routes and what have you.
They know it. They know they have a feel for each other.
Huge first down for LSU.
Still waiting for that tight end play, Robert Royal.
Blitz from the free safety. They throw it to Reed again. And Myers is the man who will make the tackle.
Again, Rohan Davey is recognizing defensive coverages. And he knows he's got a 5-6 yard gain out there when they blitz the safety to Josh Reed. It's a game of adjustments. You make an adjustment, I have to make an adjustment. And right now, LSU is doing things right on offense.
Davey, 9 of 11, 90 yards, and a touchdown. They'll run it with Tofield. Inside the 25, around the 24. Key Fox makes still another tackle.
Different offensive line since Brandon Winey's come into this football game.
Third down and inches, LSU. You gonna run it on fourth anyway? Do you play action to put it up here?
No, I think I go right behind Brandon Winey.
Tommy Bank, all 275 pounds, would have the first down, plus about 3 yards.
See, Brandon Winey has given you the same thing as Rohan Davey has given you at the offensive line. He's kind of got them playing at a little different level in the second half. So just lead with him and follow him with Tommy Banks, and they pick up the first down.
Winey, a senior out of Lake Charles, 6'7", 288 pounds. Didn't play in the first half because of that broken bone. And we showed you the cast on the opening series of the second half. Here comes the blitz again. Play action. Davey just throws it into the ground. Very smart play. Didn't even want Banks to catch it because everybody was covered. Credit the Georgia Tech secondary. They had them blanketed.
I'm sure Nick Saban went to Winey at halftime and said, "How's your hand?" And he may have said it still hurts, but it's healed because you're going into that football game. We need you. This Greg Gathers is killing us.
Mike, again, the pressure on that play coming from Fox. You have to think, even as a sophomore, he may be first-team all-conference preseason selection for next year.
He's got a knack for the football.
He really does. He's got all the tools. Eighth play of the drive. Georgia Tech creeping up. They stay at home. And the quick pass, Reed. Mike, talk about what you do and do it well executed with the quick pass game. The offensive line that time, super job of just chop and get them down.
And that's the answer. Jimbo Fisher with a nice job here in the second half. Josh Reed's the inside receiver. You see the offensive line chopping at the line of scrimmage. Quick pass outside to Josh Reed. You pick up the first down against Chris Young.
First down Tigers. First down and goal. They trail 14-9. We have 18 seconds showing on the clock in the third quarter.
Here's where you like a back like Tofield, 227 pounds.
two tight end alignment. That's Banks in motion. They give it to Tofield, right side. Puts the head down, but he got banged hard by Corrin. Brian Corrin, the big senior out of Albany, Georgia. Clock runs at 4, now at 3, and we're about to head to the final 15 minutes of this one. It was a quarter that the LSU faithful to our right really, really enjoyed. As we head to the fourth and final 15 minutes, our score is Georgia Tech 14, LSU 9, and the Tigers are threatening.
ESPN's 2001 Almanac, a great holiday gift in bookstores now.
I told my father I wanted to grow up to be a teacher. Wouldn't you rather be a doctor? He said. It's a noble profession and you could become wealthy. That may be true, I said. But without teachers, where would doctors come from?
Remember the A-Team? Now there was an odd bunch of individuals. They always had some cockamamie scheme to get out of a jam. It never sounded like it would work, but of course it always did. Week after week, same time, same chapter. Those were my boys. The Ford F-150 Super Cruise. Built Ford top.
Seattle is surrounded by water. And then it rains. And that means car accidents. When that happens, are you going to have a State Farm agent who knows you personally? Or are you going to have no agent and hope for the best?
Over 16,000 State Farm agents.
Our rates are very competitive.
It's no accident. They insure more cars than anyone else.
I'm going to be getting some calls today.
Yes. One more time, for the something I'm serious. Sure, let's play for a buck. I'm not that serious. Guys, $1 isn't serious. Then you must not know about 10-10-220. Reminder, dial 10-10-220. All calls up to 20 minutes, 99 cents. Yeah, just 7 cents a minute after that. It's got to be a monthly fee. No. In that case, I'll shoot for a buck. Can you do that? Too short.
Dial 10-10-220.
Get a free Cows and Sports calendar containing $30 worth of food. Visit ChickFilAPeachBowl.com by midnight tonight.
Welcome back. Hold that Tiger. Just struck up to the LSU band. And the purple and gold just went nuts. Part of the 73,614, a new record for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, just announced here at the stadium. On the field, second down and goal from the 9.
Ron, here's where a good tight end, Robert Royal, has not caught the ball today, but here's a good position to try to get him the football.
Let's watch for him. As Rohan Davey sets in the pocket, lobs it for the end zone, he just throws this one away. Double coverage on Reed that time as Clay Brooks was applying pressure.
Yeah, they're going to make sure Josh Reed didn't catch the football. Combination you like down here is the tight end Robert Royal and the fullback Tommy Banks.
157 yards in the third quarter for LSU to only 13 by Georgia Tech. Mike just mentioned it is a game of adjustments, and obviously the LSU staff has done an awfully good job of adjustments in this second half.
Robert Royal right inside here, the tight end.
Pressure. Rohan Marley. Did he get a foot down? Touchdown. Josh Reed. Rohan Davey with the touchdown pass. And I mean Reed got 1 foot barely down.
his feet down.
Yep, right there.
Left foot down before the right foot came in the white. That was close.
Going for two, trying to make it a 17-14 ball game. And they have elected to have the ball placed at the left hash mark.
See if they motion Tommy Banks to the right side here. Yep, they're going to try to balance him up with Tofield.
Tofield in motion, blitz is on, hit, gets the pass away, and it is caught. Unbelievable. Josh Reed has had an all-world second hit. Nick Rogers was all over. But the difference, Rohan Davey was 240 pounds. He's hard to knock off his feet.
That's before Christmas. I think he weighs more now. But he couldn't take him down. Rohan Davey strength enough to throw the football. Reed with another great play.
So let's take a timeout. What a reversal as far as momentum and fortune in a quarter and just a minute. New score, LSU 17-14.
We never know when a storm is going to hit.
Call me later.
I will. But there are thousands of us at Georgia Power ready to go at the drop of a hard hat. We have one of the most sophisticated systems in the country. So hopefully our customers will barely feel a thing. Of course, sometimes Mother Nature knocks off early. That's okay, too. We know she's coming back. We'll be ready.
Still in the news, the Buick year-end sell-off continues unabated. When Buick issued an additional $500 holiday bonus on select 2001 models, bringing total cashback offers up to $1,500, analysts predicted an immediate spike in market activity. Now, eager buyers are still storming the floor with no sign of a slowdown. You have to wonder, though, with holiday bonus cash ending January 2nd, how long can these market conditions last?
I want to tell you about a brand new way.
Brand new way of quitting smoking.
It's unique, it's effective, it's orange.
New Nicorette Orange.
It's Nicorette.
So I still help prevent cravings on my own regular schedule.
I still help answer cravings with another piece. And now I have orange.
Brand new orange flavor. Only from Nicorette.
Here, taste this. Now this just may be a flavor I can quit with.
Sometimes victory's so close.
You can taste it.
You can do it. New Nicorette Orange can help.
You think you're on the right track. You save $10 on a $10,000 stock trade, but then you lose $100 because of lousy execution. There are no shortcuts to financial success. Anyone can offer cheap trades. Very few online brokers can offer the world's best financial thinking. Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Move your money. Get well connected.
17-14, LSU forges on top as you look at Rohan Davey, the junior out of Miami. And it's not that I'm that big a reggae fan, but I told you before the game, I hope I didn't call him Rohan Marley, and I did. I apologize. Obviously, I know it is Rohan Davey. At the goal line, Campbell. Just shy of the 20-yard line. Now, Mike, take us through a sequence here. If you're offensive coordinator, if you're Georgia Tech, what do you got to do to settle everybody down and do what was so good for them in the first half?
Well, first of all, the catch, Ron. Josh Reed had time enough to get his feet down, and then Rohan Davey with a great play. I think you rely on George Godsey. They scored 14 points in the fourth quarter against Central Florida and came back. They scored 15 points in the fourth quarter to beat Clemson. So they're very capable. They've been in this spot a couple times.
Play action, pressure's on, and Godsey is going to be sacked. 59, Jarvis Green, the second sack of the ball game.
Jarvis Green now has 18 career sacks for LSU. Makes a good play on this bootleg, never takes the fake inside with the running game, and makes the tackle. Now you talk about Georgia Tech. They got to find a way to get Kelly Campbell involved here.
Loss of
just as Josh Reed has done for LSU, Kelly Campbell can do the same thing for Georgia Tech.
2nd and 17. Sets in the pocket, gets this one complete. Tackle made at the 20. Ball came loose. LSU football recovered by James. Now here comes a flag in and a second flag across the way. It's going to be celebration or what?
The LSU, yeah.
The ball, the fourth flag comes out after the interception, an LSU 15-yard penalty. What's up?
Here's the biggest problem you have if you're George Godsey. See, nobody's talking to him. Ralph Friedgen is the quarterback coach. Ralph Friedgen would be right here right now talking to him. Here's the play. Nate Curry gets the football. Gets stripped by Demetrius Hookfin. But now you go off to the sideline and you're one coach short to settle your quarterback down, George Godsey.
So the penalty assessed as you look at Ralph Friedgen.
And he'd like to be on that field to settle his quarterback down.
First down, safety coming up on the blitz, pumped it once, going to go deep over the middle, and just a little too far for Reggie Robinson. Adrian Karsten, what do you have for us?
I have the fourth quarter. This is when fatigue sets in. The defensive line for Georgia Tech was off the field for one play. Ron, they dragged their butts back onto the field. The offensive line barely got their butts out of the field for the last series. 6 degrees difference. When I was sitting with Ralph Friedgen halfway up the stadium, it was 6 degrees cooler. Usually heat rises, but this is a dome. The heat has no place to go except settle in. Georgia Tech is really dragging right now.
Okay, Adrian. Short drop this time to hopper out. Threw it just a little too high for Josh Reed. Reed, by the way, 8 catches for 85 yards.
Adrian giving us an anatomy lesson there.
Mr. Wizard.
Yeah.
No, not an anatomy.
Remember, Georgia Tech has owned the possession time all season. LSU is in control of this football game. They need a play here. You talk about Georgia Tech. They got to reach back right now and make LSU settle for a field goal attempt.
Third down. The line to make is the Georgia Tech 22-yard line. You can see the numbers. The Tigers are 5 of 14 on third down conversions. Right over the middle, Myers can't hold on. Hester with the defensive play, and that is a good defensive stand by Georgia Tech at a time they had to have it.
Yeah, 3-man rush, Ron, right here. They got 8 covering, so Rohan Davey can't find an opening.
Okay, so this means when we look at the field goal attempt by Corbello, they got to place it down at the 39-yard line. So 49 yards. His longest is against Tennessee, which is 47 yards.
Indoors, you got a shot.
Booty to Holder. Plenty of distance on the kick, and he is good. New career long for Corbello. That ties a school record. Let's take a break. 20-14 LSU.
In the credit card.
Yeah, why?
Those interest charges are really going to get us.
Don't worry. I just turned this out for the loan card. It's interest-free.
To the name
purchases would be interest-free until July 2001.
We've got to tell Bob and Carol about Capital One.
What's in your wallet?
Still in the news, the Buick year-end sell-off continues unabated. When Buick issued an additional $500 holiday bonus on select 2001 models, bringing total cashback offers up to $1,500, analysts predicted an immediate spike in market activity. Now, eager buyers are still storming the floor with no sign of a slowdown. You have to wonder, though, with holiday bonus cash ending January 2nd, how long can these market conditions last?
Playmaker Eric Crouch and the impenetrable Cornhusker front spar with Northwestern's Damian Anderson. Nebraska versus Northwestern at 8. Saturday on ESPN.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2000 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is presented by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just a chicken sandwich. And in part by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Welcome back to the Georgia Dome. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, Adrian Karsten. Part of a triple-header today. Great game up in Memphis at the Liberty Bowl, won by Colorado State. This one right here, Georgia Tech having their way in the first half, and now here come the Tigers back in the second half. And in the wings, on deck, the Holiday Bowl, the Culligan Holiday Bowl out in San Diego, Oregon, and Texas. Fun day of college football.
Georgia Tech's average starting at the 19.7 yards, and let it go out of the end zone, you gain a half.
Corbello will kick this one 6 yards deep and away from the return man. So they'll get it at the 20.
Remember the missed extra point, because that looms big here. 20-14. You're a touchdown and an extra point away from taking that lead. And Ron, I really believe Georgia Tech has got to find Kelly Campbell and get him involved here.
You see the numbers on Gotchi, 11 of 23, 84 yards, 2 interceptions, as Georgia Tech has turned it over 6 times in this ballgame. Gotchi, short drop. There's the quick look in, and he catches the slant, tackled immediately by Damian James. Kerry Watkins, the receiver.
When you look at Kelly Campbell, he's caught 12 touchdown passes, 59 receptions. He averages 87.5 yards per game. You know what he has today? 2 catches, 9 yards. He's more of a threat. You got to find a way to get the football in his.
And those 2 catches came in the first half.
He has been flanked in the second half.
Second down and short. It's Myers in motion. Keep it on the ground, and they're going to have the first down. Joe Burns will take it straight ahead. Huge cheer from the Georgia Tech faithful here, because they'd like to see them do just that. Just run the football, maintain control a little bit here, and gain the momentum back. Josh Reed on the sideline getting a well-deserved rest. No catches in the first half. 8 catches in the second half. 85 yards and a touchdown. Little counterplay. This time, a little greeting committee there for Burns, and he will have a yard, maybe a yard and a half.
Kareem Mitchell, number 97, is filling in for Muskingum Barnes, playing well here in the second half. 97, 6'4", 251.
Here comes that linebacker on the blitz. There's a safety. Gotchi hit as he gets it away and just throws it well over the head of the receiver. That was Lionel Thomas from the strong safety spot, a junior out of Opelousas.
See, when you choose your time to blitz, Phil Almation, the defensive coordinator for LSU, now is making a good use of his safeties. There's a safety blitz. Never gave a chance for George Gotchi.
Third down. Georgia Tech has to take it to the 42-yard line to keep this drive going, or they got to kick it away again.
See, here's another problem. You get in a bad formation.
3 of 8 on third down conversions. Blitz for the linebacker. Pass is caught, and he's close to the first down. Kelly Campbell, the man that Mike was just talking about, and I believe he's going to move the chains.
I'd keep throwing to him, and eventually you're going to get a long ball to him. Bill O'Brien doing a nice job mixing his plays up. Kelly Campbell, this ball was thrown on time.
LSU had better get lined up here, Mike. They're still making changes in Georgia Tech's at the line of scrimmage.
They don't have
timeout being called. They don't have enough men on the field, do they?
No, they got 9. That's tough to play with 9. I know they got a motion, but it's tough to play with 9.
11:37 left in the ball game. LSU 20, Georgia Tech 14.
Why did you get off the plane? I got this feeling.
I saw Death's plan. It's not finished. I know who's next. What are you, God now?
Rated R.
Moving with your Uncle Elroy and your cousin Day-Day is the best thing to happen to you now.
This is a fine place here. What are you, one of those entertainer guys, huh?
You see how we live? We live wild. We live wild.
Some days are better than others.
I'm beginning to like Rancho Cucamonga.
And then there's next Friday.
See it this month on Stars, part of the Stars Encore Super Pack. Call now to order.
Sports Center DVD coming out. Classic shows behind the scenes. Matter of fact, some of the guys are recording anchor commentaries right now.
They give me the most important stories and, try to get me on camera as often as possible. A lot of women find me extremely sexy. The putt's in. See? The putt's in. I already knew it was in. I'm tight with about 300 players. I didn't like my hair this day. I got rid of that hairdresser.
It's a great way for the fans to really get inside our head.
If it's good for ratings, and they tell me it is, fine, stick me on camera a lot, and they do quite often.
Well, his confidence, his command seemingly growing by the day. Chris Sims ripped up the Aggies. He's got a lot of weapons for Oregon, but it'll be a challenge against the Ducks' aggressive defense. The Holiday Bowl coming up next, guys.
All righty, that's the third game of our triple header that we were just talking about. Our situation, 11:37 left in the ball game. LSU by 6. The second half has belonged to them, but an opportunity for the Yellow Jackets here to regain that momentum and also the lead. Here comes the blitz. They go with the run. They bounce it to the outside, and look at Burns puts a head down, and he is going to have a couple of extra yards. His Booker will come over to make the tackle, but that is a good, tough run.
Georgia Tech, Bill O'Brien coming with 2 tight ends now to run the football. When you go 2 tight ends, you balance up the defense, and you get a helmet on a helmet with 2 tight ends. And then Joe Burns breaks it outside and just ran over Fred Booker. Injured Fred Booker.
Second down and short. Play action. Here comes the pressure from the outside. Got his pass away. And running for his life, he just threw it away. That was Fred Booker, who was applying pressure on the quarterback.
Well, Nick Saban's a former secondary coach. He coached in pro football. And anytime you're in the hash mark closest to the boundary, LSU can show you a 2-deep coverage and line Fred Booker up in the wide receiver and then bring him because you're real close to the sideline. George Godsey was not prepared for that.
Third down. They've got to take it to the 47. 8th play of the drive for Georgia Tech. Good protection this time. Now it breaks down, and he's going to be sacked. Boy, of all the things you didn't want to happen, that was it right there. Third time that they've gotten to Godsey, and Lawrence and Brady James will share that sack.
Nothing there for George Godsey. You got to throw the football away, but again, good effort by LSU's defense.
Dyke with his 5th punt of the afternoon, a driving spiral. Caught, fair catch is made by Davis inside the 10-yard line. 54 yards in the punt. Well, it's time for you, the viewer, to go online and help us select tonight's player of the game. And here's the list of nominees. For LSU, Davey, Reed, and Winey. For Georgia Tech, Godsey, Joe Burns, and Greg Gathers. Log on to ESPN.com now and cast your vote. We'll announce the winner late in the fourth quarter.
Ron, that might be the first time we have an offensive tackle on there, Brandon Winey. But he means so much to this offensive line. He's been able to control Greg Gathers in the second half.
Quick pass. Got it complete to Myers. And that'll be enough for the first down as LSU chips away a gain of 11 right there. Adrian, let's go down to you.
Because Brandon Winey's pass run is the same color of Georgia Tech's jersey, they have been complaining about the fact he gets to hold. Now, granted, he's got a broken bone in his left thumb, but he still has movement in those 4 other fingers. He's grabbing on to the shoulder pads, the blades that come down across the chest of Georgia Tech, and he's getting away with it. Georgia Tech complained about it pregame. They wanted to see the cast. He's been doing a beautiful job blocking.
Well, Adrian, it's a 4-fingered hold. First down. They move the chains out beyond the 21-yard line. And Davey will give it to Tofield. Nick Rogers steps up to make the tackle after a short gain.
I'm not trying to influence the voters because Brandon Winey, no, because if I had a vote, obviously I would vote for number 6 right now. Now, he would get my second vote right here, Brandon Winey, because he's done a good job. There, he let go of his defensive lineman, Nick Rogers, but I would vote for Rohan Davey because he has given the spark to everybody in here.
Offense and defense, for that
offense,
matter.
defense, and the fans from LSU.
LSU leads it by 6. Clock running, about to go under 9 minutes left in the ballgame. Pressure is on, gets it away, and that's complete to Banks, the fullback. Breaks the tackle, has another 15 yards, and now an extra 18 after the second effort in breaking the tackle.
Put him back on the list, too, Tommy Banks.
You can't vote for everybody, Mike.
Tommy Banks has had a big football game. But this, in the first half, LSU didn't get this football off. And Rohan Davey gets it off to Tommy Banks, and he's a runaway Buffalo.
That was Gathers who was putting pressure on the quarterback. And as you said, we mentioned, I mean, Davey is huge. He's 240 pounds. And like you said, that was before Christmas. He's hard to knock off his feet.
He ate a lot of turkey in Christmas.
Banks now 5 catches, 65 yards. That's a career high for Tommy Banks. Pitch comes back to the tailback. Tofield puts the head down, and they'll take it across midfield and a gain of about 4. Wimbush and Smith on the defensive end.
You talked about Rohan Davey. How much did you say he weighed? 239?
That's what it said when the year started.
Yeah, that's Thanksgiving and Christmas. He's up to 251 now.
251.
251.
You know that.
Yeah, he's 251. And a lot of that 251's underneath that 6. Just below the 6.
So that's just rib pads, Mike.
Yeah. But that's why it's so tough for him to tackle him.
Well, for instance, Gathers hit him a good lick just now, but Gathers only weighs 10 more pounds than he does. On second down, pass over the middle, in and out of the hands of Reed, and he knows, boy, did he have an opportunity. A flag is down back at the line of scrimmage.
Well, it's a beautiful throw. I mean, that's thrown just like you want it thrown on Sundays in the Pro League. I mean, that ball was right on the money.
Gathers wanted to make sure he told his coaches.
Knock the head off.
And he knocks the head of the referee off.
He's telling him, hey, watch my hat.
Randy Sims.
It's a white hat, too.
Take a look at it again.
Oh. He's not worried about his hat. It's his forehead. He got elbowed.
Yeah, Greg just wanted to make sure that his defensive coordinator, Ted Roof, knew exactly what the situation was. It's now going to be second down and 11.
You think they go again to Josh Reed?
They're going to go with the running field. Tofield crosses midfield down to around the 46. Darrell Smith there to make the tackle.
Better job of play calling in the second half with draws and screens. Tommy Banks catching the ball in the backfield, and that'll slow the rush down.
And see that clock right now, 7.5 minutes. For all those incomplete passes, you look at Jimbo Fisher.
Credit Jimbo Fisher with a nice adjustment here in the second half.
third down. And the Tigers need to go to the 42-yard line of Tech to keep this one going. Otherwise, they got to punt it. Here comes the blitz. All out. Davies' pass is caught. That's Robinson. And trying to get away. He'll have the first down at the 36.5-yard line.
The other thing that impresses me about Rohan Davey is he's cool. He's a cool customer. Look at him. I mean, he is in this football game. They bring the blitz. They're at his feet. And he gets the ball out to Reggie Robinson. Picks up the first down.
Key Fox was the man who hit the quarterback. It was Chris Young who was holding on for dear life. If Chris lets go of him, Reggie Robinson is down the field 37 more yards for a touch.
Now you're Nick Saban. You're thinking about that clock. You also want to be able to tack at least 3 on here.
Davey, 14 of 22, 157 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Tofield, not much there, and he will go down at the line of scrimmage. Darrell Smith makes the stop. Fumble came after he was down. The clock continues to roll as LSU keeps mixing the plays, but particularly even on the short plays, and this one right here is going to lose about a half yard. But we're about, by the time they snap this ball, we'll be under 5 minutes to play, under 6 minutes, I should say, to play in the ball game. Davey lobs it out, Banks hit immediately and knocked down by Hester. Marvius Hester, sophomore out of Smyrna, Georgia.
He's 170 pounds. He wanted to get Tommy Banks before he got started. Now Georgia Tech needs to hold their ground right here to force the long field goal. This is a big football play here with a nice hit by Hester.
Here comes the crowd. The Tech folks to our left standing. To our right, the LSU faithful. They're standing. Here comes the blitz. Davies' pass is caught by Josh Reed for the first down.
Good combination.
Nick Rogers was all over the quarterback, and Davey got it to his favorite receiver for his 9th catch of the second half.
And there wasn't a lot of room to fit that football in. Rohan Davey under pressure again is going to get hit here just as he throws the football. Option route where Josh Reed just got to the sticks, turned around, will open for the first down. Nick Rogers really leveling Rohan Davey.
So after that first down, just under 5 minutes, and now the clock continues to run. Points right here by LSU, and if they let another couple of minutes run off that clock, Georgia Tech's going to have to start calling timeouts. Safeties creep up. Tofield will go with a running play.
What did I say? Top 15 next year for LSU, move them up to top 10. All these guys back next year.
Well, they lose on offense Williams and Whitey. I know that Royal is listed as a senior, but he was a prop kid, and his quality has done the required classroom work that he needs to do. He gets 1 more year, so he is back. So those are the players along with Tommy Banks on offense and only Fred Booker on defense. Tofield breaks it big. 10-5, first and goal LSU. 17 yards.
Rob Sale with a good block. He sealed everything down inside.
You can see DiMaggio pushing his man all the way back inside as well.
Lewis Williams, another good block. The offensive line for LSU. Rick Trickett, good adjustments at halftime. They've taken over this football game.
This may be as big a flip as far as the fortunes of 2 teams from one half to the others I've ever seen. Look at this, 258 to 30 yards in the second half.
Remember, LSU had 7 yards rushing in the first half.
Straight ahead, Tommy Banks. He will have a couple of yards. And I have a feeling if it is possible, that they would like to see the senior Tommy Banks, who has been such a hard worker, take the ball into the end zone. Georgia Tech uses one of those timeouts and will use it with them. 3:16 left in the ball game. LSU driving again.
Coverage of the Australian Open begins January 14th on ESPN2.
Made from genuine cowhide quality football.
Get a free Cows and Sports calendar containing $30 worth of food. Visit ChickFilAPeachBowl.com by midnight tonight.
Still in the news, the Buick year-end sell-off continues unabated. When Buick issued an additional $500 holiday bonus on select 2001 models, bringing total cashback offers up to $1,500, analysts predicted an immediate spike in market activity. Now, eager buyers are still storming the floor with no sign of a slowdown. You have to wonder, though, with holiday bonus cash ending January 2nd, how long can these market conditions last?
Hey, Bob.
Morning.
When you have a cold, even small tasks are a big pain. So get back your focus. Get Dayquil, the daytime non-drowsy, congested, stuffy head, sore throat, coughing, aching, fever, so you can get back your day medicine from the makers of NyQuil. Good move.
LSU 20-14 to show you it's a friendly crowd. This gentleman right here didn't have a pom-pom, so this attractive young lady comes down and says, "You can have mine."
Hey, this.
And so watch this. See what happens when you get a pom-pom in your hand.
He's got some rhythm, too. But he tires. That's the only thing. He tired after a while, and he switched hands.
Heading back to the couch. 13th play of the drive started at their own 9-yard line. Play action. There's Banks. Touchdown for the senior.
We've seen Rohan Davey twice. We saw what he did against Tennessee on one ankle. We see what he's done here in this football game at the Peach Bowl. He's given his football team. They believe in him. It's a great effort by Rohan Davey again.
LSU to go for two from the shotgun. They roll the pocket in the end zone. Got the two, Reggie Robinson.
Rohan says it's easy.
Mike, I'm serious. As long as I've been watching football, I'm not sure I've ever seen two halves of football as opposite.
No.
I mean, Georgia Tech dominated in the first half.
They dominated. They came out in the second half. Rohan Davey gave them a spark on offense and defense and special teams. Brandon Winey can't kind of contain Greg Gather. Here's the touchdown. A little lofted. Tommy Banks, you had talked about Tommy Banks getting the touchdown. He's a senior.
And the reaction, you could tell his teammates respect him, and they want to praise him for all his hard work for his years at LSU. All the guys that came over and gave him a hug when the play was over. And here's the two-pointer to Reggie Robinson. Now, how about this drive? 13 plays, 91 yards, 7:05 off the clock. Later tonight, ESPN's Capital One Bowl Week continues with the Culligan Holiday Bowl from San Diego at 8:30 Eastern. Chris Sims leads number 12 Texas against quarterback Joey Harrington and number 11 Oregon out in San Diego. And for more, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football on the internet. That game is coming up next.
LSU fans have been loud throughout this football game. They are really done a good job for their players.
Here's a stat for you. Reed's 9 catches, all in the second half. Ties an LSU Bowl record with Andy Hamilton at 71, the Orange Bowl game against Nebraska, and Wendell Davis in 87, the Gator Bowl game against South Carolina. Kickoff into the end zone, and Hatch fumbles that one out of bounds. I'm not sure they wanted to return it and burn time off the clock anyway.
We've done some great ball games. The Fiesta Bowl, I think John Junker and his group do a great job. Gary Stoken in this group right here, they were the 3rd best attended bowl game last year, and they a record crowd in here again. They are doing things right in Atlanta.
Well, another record as far as the crowd that came in here to see this one. Godsey's pass is caught. That was a nice job of adjustment right there as the ball was a little bit behind Kerry Watkins, and he had to pay for it. It was Damian James who handed out the punishment. Mike, when you have a situation like what has happened with LSU in this bowl game here, this pass incomplete, almost intercepted, and it was. It was tipped. Nope, they say he trapped it. He trapped it. Just to continue my point, this is the kind of situation where the coaches and even the players can't wait to get to spring practice.
No.
Because they know all these same faces are going to be there again.
Here's the other thing, Ron. It'll help in recruiting because you won on national TV. You showed you came out in the second half with heart. And so you won. You're going to help in recruiting. You're going to go into spring practice feeling good about yourself. Got all these guys back, and you can't wait till the fall.
Godsey, quick pass. Got it complete. That's enough for the first down. Kelly Campbell.
You know, when you talk about their schedule next year in 2001, LSU, they open up with 3 home games. Tulane, which is not going to be an easy game. Chris Cephalo's doing a good job there. Utah State, Auburn, and Baton Rouge. Then they get open date. They'll handle them. Then they go to Tennessee to play the University of Tennessee. So they've got a good schedule next year. Get a chance to start with 3 home games.
Glover has that one complete up around midfield, good for 18 yards. And Godsey still working hard and chipping away.
7 home games for LSU next year, so should have another great year. And you got to give Jerry DiNardo some credit because this is the team he left.
Godsey's pass threw it a little bit low, and in order to catch it, Campbell made the reception, but he fell down, and they'll go with no huddle again.
All the coaching changes, Ron. You know the strangest one? Georgia.
Yeah.
I do not understand that. Never understand it. Jim Donning is doing a very, very good job over there.
Glover makes another reception. Ball is loose. They battle for it at the 34, and Tech has made a recovery. Joe Burns is the man who got on the football. Well, Ralph Friedgen, the new head coach at Maryland, the former offensive coordinator with Georgia Tech, looks on and kind of a lonely feeling there, unable to coach in this game, and offensively, 6 turnovers for the Yellow Jackets. It's hard to win when you got that many.
I thought Bill O'Brien did a good job. I just don't think they executed to the style that they're used to here. Too many turnovers. When Adrian interviewed Ralph Friedgen, he talked about if you don't take care of the ball, you lose, and that every coach knows that. So Bill O'Brien did a very good job in his first game here. Just unfortunate that they had the turnovers. But credit LSU for forcing them.
For the adjustments on both sides of the football by LSU, devastatingly good in the second half. Godsey up the far sideline, got a man open at the 5. He makes the catch, and Campbell steps out of bounds at the 3.5-yard line. 31 yards.
If they can knock this in, Ron, and get the extra point, they still got 2 timeouts. They still got time, but they got to get an onside kick. This is a good catch right here.
So they placed the ball down at the 4-yard line. Still 1:39 to play in our ball game. 28-14. And Tech trying to get a quick one right here. Here comes the blitz. Godsey threw it with his left hand. Put it in his left hand, and it was Trev Falk who was all over it.
I don't think he could have thrown it with his right. He had to switch it to his left. He may be hurt. His shoulder. This is unfortunate because George Godsey's had a great year. Stumbling. Yeah, he came down hard. Trev Falk.
Andy Hall, a redshirt freshman, is on the sideline with his chin strap latched tight. You can see his numbers, 4 of 16, 37 yards. From Cheraw, South Carolina. Holiday Bowl is coming up. The Culligan Holiday Bowl.
This young man has had a great year, George Godsey.
.8:42 Eastern time is what time the kickoff is scheduled at the Culligan Holiday Bowl. So for those of you waiting for that one, you haven't missed anything and not going to. Here comes the blitz right up the middle again. Falk, pass, lob, fade route, and nobody there. Receiver fell down, and it was Jonathan Smith.
Very good coverage by Robert Davis. Boy, this is
now they're working on a knee, so
it's just unfortunate. Again, turf, Ron, we talked about it. You pick your feet up. Turf, it's just very difficult to play on it when you haven't played on it before.
1:33 left to play in the ball game. Andy Hall at quarterback. They blitz him again, and he's going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be tackled back at the 10-yard line. Brady James making the tackle. Timeout taken by Georgia Tech, and we'll take it with them. 1:21 left in the ball game, and it's LSU 28-14. We'll be right back.
Where can you see Bruce, Michelle, Pierce, and Nicholas and get a great bonus? Only on Showtime Unlimited with 10 channels for only $10.99. Call now to order the latest Hollywood movies and more. You'll get 6 channels of Showtime and 2 of the movie channel, plus 2 bonus channels, Blix and Sundance channel. It's a great value. 10 channels for only $10.99. Call and order Showtime Unlimited now.
We're moving, but not without my Dish network. With Dish Mover, our satellite receiver moves with us, and the dish stays, along with my sister. Hey! Okay, she can come. We get a Dish 500 sent to our new home for $75 just by calling 1-800-333-DISH. Plus, professional installers get to come out and hook up my Dish 500 for free. Mom and Dad say Dish Mover is cool. Not like my sister.
Showtime is back in. It's 4th down. Andy Hall. Play action. Looks for the end zone. Lobs it, and it's just a little too far. LSU holds. Nate Curry, the man that the pass was intended for, and George Godsey can only look on the sideline and think of what if. Boy, what a season the young guy has had. And to have it end this way, driving his team down the field and about to score, and an opportunity to possibly get an onside kick and stay in it. Well, the voting is complete. Tonight's Capital One player of the game, as selected by you, the fans at home at ESPN.com, is Rohan Davey. 17 of 25, 174 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 66% of the votes on ESPN.com for Rohan Davey. He will take a knee. The clock now runs at 1:10 and 1:09. Nick Saban also breaks a personal string, gets a win in a bowl game. And I'm not sure at halftime, when he went to the locker room, I'm not so sure that he was sure he was going to get his first.
No, but I think they made two big moves. Brandon Winey playing in the second half and handling Gather, and then Rohan Davey just sparked his football team.
The coach is being posted right here. He doesn't realize it, but they're setting the screen so that the old Gatorade bottle can come over, and here it comes. He's trying to run away, and he couldn't make it.
Mr. Harrell.
He turns to the policeman and says, "Where were you?" And the policeman very wisely says, "I was not going to try to counter those brutes."
There's our fan. He's not waving anymore.
That wrist is tired. 12 seconds down to 11, and he's working it again. Yeah. The LSU Tigers are about to win the 2000 edition of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in a come-from-behind like this bowl game may have never seen. Final score, LSU 28, Georgia Tech 14. Coming up next, the Colligan Holiday Bowl from San Diego. For Mike Godfrey, Adrian Carson, and our entire ESPN